Tell them run it off.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off.
What is going on? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning that I choose. Hope everybody's doing well this fine morning. I'm doing good. I can't lie. I'm doing good. I'm warming up here. I'm warming up. Just making sure we're good on all the ends here, making sure everybody can hear me. Making sure that we got everything going on. Woo. Okay, so let's take a look at this room real quick here. We got we got DJ Charlo being first. We like that. We like that. We got T Diesel in the house, one of my mods. Good morning from Lady Beats. That's moderator extraordinaire whenever she's available. I'm glad she's here today. I'm glad that the work that she says, you know, she has to go to work. I'm glad that she's able to be here with me. You know, she's a day oneer. Just making sure vocally we sound good. We sound good. All right, I got Sonny Jr., 1906. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Damage is in the house. Nice guy in the house. Elite 1212 in the house. Lillian is in the house. What is going on? RM Vidal. We got Ratbone in the house. Ratbone, another moderator handling business. And we have Island Boy in the house. Island Boy. Oh, and J Style Sounds. Can't forget about J Style Sounds in the house. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Of course, my chat timer is... let me see if I can make this smaller. Nope. Did not work. That's okay. That is okay. All right. So, what's going on this morning? What's going on this morning? What are we doing with ourselves this morning? Are we having a good time on this fine Tuesday? It is Tuesday, right? I get a little confused sometimes because sometimes it doesn't feel like any day. It could be Monday. It could be Friday. Lady Beats, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's hey, work in progress, right? We're always work in progresses. So I always want to try to improve on what I'm providing you guys. Like I said before, it's something that I want to continue to keep doing. And, you know, every time I see something, every time I see somebody else do something, I'm always like, I could do that. I need to do that for my stuff. So that's where we are. That's what I do. So thank you. Appreciate that. Hopefully people were around to see it. But if not, then we'll have to use that as our outro also. Lillian, I'm not going to say your last name. Escarate. To me, you're just Lillian, if that's okay with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have Snaps in the house. Lauren in the house representing this fine morning. That's one of the homies. I miss your face. I miss your face. DJ Gemini in the house. What is going on? What is going on? You know what's interesting is I'm seeing a whole bunch of Twitch people, and I appreciate that. Honestly, I really do appreciate that. But do we have YouTube people on? Are they even on today? Let's make sure that that setup is going to YouTube. Yep, it's going. Okay, well, you know, Twitch is where it's at, right? Oh, We got from the annex in the house. It is Tuesday. Thank you so much for that, breaking down the calendar for me. Some days you wake up and you're just like, I don't even care anymore. It's Tuesday, it's Saturday, whatever. There used to be a time when on Saturday I would wake up like, oh my God, I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. I gotta handle all this business. I got all these jobs to do. I got 6 gigs today. I got 7 gigs. I gotta like make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be. Now on Saturdays, I just wake up. That's it. I just wake up. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now. That is the world we live in. I have to fix my my dual screen here. So you might see something weird happen on the screen, but that's okay. I need to get this set up for when, in case you guys didn't know, I got the man DJ Spider in the house today. So that's going to be a quite enjoyable conversation. But what I need to do real quick, so pardon me for looking weird for just a second. I need to adjust. I need to adjust that guy. So just act like this isn't going on. Act like I'm just talking to you like I normally do. Just having a conversation with two of me. Just, like it's just normal. We're all about things being normal. So I have to make this a little bigger. Pause. Because, there we go. Because if I don't, there we go. Because if I don't, what happens is when I bring the guest on, I end up looking like a little person trying to interview a big person. Or maybe they have a big face and I got a little face. And that's weird too. Big face, little face doesn't work on an interview. Because it's like, who's interviewing who? Is the big face interviewing the little face? That seems to make more sense than the little face looking up and interviewing the big face. That's weird. That is weird. So I had to adjust that. Thank you guys for your understanding. Yeah, Sunny Jr. It is windy. It's not as windy as it was over the weekend, but it is windy. A lot of people, they get hurricanes, they get tornadoes. California gets fires, winds, and earthquakes. That's it. That's all we get. So usually when the winds kick up, and then that leads to fire. Fortunately, we haven't had many earthquakes lately, so that's been good. But our winds, depending on where you live, they're all called the same winds. They're the Santa Ana winds. Doesn't matter where in California you are, it's always the Santa Ana winds. But they can get extreme. My kids right now, they're all in dance. And I don't know, the way I said it sounded weird. They're all in dance. But they all are dancers, and they go to a dance school in the next city over. And the lady was out of town, and so right now, because of COVID, they are forced to do all of their dance lessons, all of their training outside. So there's a whole bunch of tents set up. This dance school has a lot of property, so they're able to do these things. And on Saturday when I'm normally, doing a gig, so I'm sleeping in or whatever, my wife's like, oh, they asked us to see if we can help out and fix the tents and throw some sandbags on, put them in water, blah, 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 weight them down. I said, okay. So I go there, which isn't the issue. I go there and I'm looking at these tents and I'm like, look, we can try whatever we want, but these 10-pound sandbags on every pole probably aren't going to do anything. But whatever, we said we'd do it, so let's do it. So we spent a couple hours re-weighting the bags, adding more bags, adding water. It was a long process, just my wife and I. I don't know how we get involved in that kind of stuff. So we set it all up. Everything's good. We send it to the lady. Hey, look, we did all this stuff for you. Thanks. That's great. Fast forward to Monday morning, because the wind started on Sunday. And we get a picture. And the picture is like devastation. It's like when you look at like houses on a hurricane road or hurricane alley, and they're all like completely destroyed. That's what the tents look like. It was just metal and fabric everywhere, just laying down. They have these mats that they put on the floor so the kids can dance. And even though it's ripped off the ground, completely ripped off the ground. So all that work we did on Saturday was pretty much worthless. And I knew going in, if you've lived here, you know that certain things like, gazebos and tents, and you look up and I'm like, there's no air. There's no air through on this thing. There's no way that if the winds pick up, this isn't going to be affected. And it was. So, so now the kids are back at home dancing on Zoom. Yay! Zoom dancing is great. You know what else is great? You know what else is really, really good? When you're trying to record your YouTube videos and you hear loud ass tapping over and over again, or children screaming with their mothers because they are not getting their dance routine down. Yeah, that's what you get in my house. This house is long, okay? It was one of the things that actually I liked about it because the main rooms are so far away from like the bedrooms, and the office that I'm in is like the farthest room in the whole house. I can still hear them when they're screaming at each other. It just pierces through here all the time. So anyway, so that's the life we live right now until they can get this all fixed up again, which I guess is kind of irrelevant because in the next couple of weeks it's going to start raining anyway. We just can't win. You can't win. Cannot win. See how I took that one little line and turned it into like a 5-minute thing? That's what I do. That's what I do. Terry Talks. Orange Slice in the house. Feels like it. It feels like it. Izzy B in the house. What's going on? Although I feel like you should be doing homework. But what do I know, right? Moni in the house. Morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Thank you so much for the intro. I put a lot of work into that. There's a lot of work that goes into this show. A lot of work. People don't think it. They think I just like get up and turn the camera on. But the reality is there is a lot that goes. You know what takes the most time? Locking down interviews. That is a lot of work, locking down interviews. Because look, when it's all said and done, for some of these people, they're like, I don't know you. What do you do? Or maybe they know me a little bit because of YouTube, but they're like, why would I want to be on your show? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Who are you and who are you to me? Okay, just making sure we are. Okay, so. All right, let's see. Scroll. We got L35 in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Architect in the house. B Mart's in the house. Did you get affiliated yet? Yeah. You might be confused with partner. I've been affiliated for months. Yeah, I'm going for partner right now. So the only way to go for partner is you need to average. I have all the numbers except for the average partners, which is you need to have 75 people on your stream. And now I think I'm averaging about 60 right now. Like it's at 63. I don't know what it is on Twitch right now, but it looks like probably around there. In about a half hour, 20 minutes or so, it's going to jump up because that's what it always does. Because people are slow, which is why the interviews take place at the time they do, because if they did earlier, people would miss half the interview because people are slow. Okay, let's travel down here. Let's travel down. By the way, while we are, preparing for the man to come in, if you have any questions, you want to talk about, make sure you throw them in the chat. We can talk about those before we do bring him on. And once again, that is DJ Spider, in case you were confused at who's coming on today. It's this guy right here. Yep. One of the dopest DJs out, in my opinion. He's been at it for a long time, but super dope. All right, Trey Money in the house. What is going on? Yeah, it's the world we live in. Okay, who else we got on here? MC2 J-Man in the house. I was just mentioning MC2 J-Man. J-Man is all around. I think there might be like 15 J-Mans. And J-Man's just like, it's the only way. Or J-Man has like J-Man bots. And then every morning he turns them on, and then the bots hit every DJ known to man. Hops in that bot. And that's what we do. Right, J-Man? That's gotta be it. Soundproof your room. You soundproof your room. This is a home. I'm not, and especially look, here's the thing about soundproofing, in all honesty. Because look, it takes a hell of a lot to actually soundproof a room correctly and to make sure that there are no outside noises coming into the room. So soundproofing honestly does not work. And the biggest thing, because you really have to cover all the walls and the ceilings. I like the way my room looks. I like when I turn around and I look at the walls and I look at everything, it looks clean. The paint's still on the walls. I haven't covered it up with, 80 panels of foam and it looks like crap. So I'm willing to deal with a little outside noise because there are ways around that. Like getting directional microphones. This dynamic microphone isn't going to pull in the sound from out there. And when it's all said and done, I just do the recordings when they're not here, or I tell them to shut up. And then they respect what I have to do. That's really what we're talking about here. It's talking about being a man in your own house. That's what I say anyway. What? Is my wife here? Mo Berry in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. We got Darwin in the house. We got APNA DJ. Sure. It's Audrey in the house. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Let's see what we got here. Mike Marquez in the house. Hey man, that's West Coast for you. Look, I don't claim the one thing I don't claim to be is on time when there's free involved. If somebody's like, hey, we need you to do this gig, we're gonna pay you, I'm on time, I'm early, I get it done. I've never been late to an event. I've never been late to an event. I guess I'll tell the story real quick. So I've never been late to an event, but I have been late to a party. That doesn't make any sense. I know. The party wasn't mine. So what happened was I used to work for another company and a long time ago. And in LA, there's a lot of north and south streets, especially in the Beverly Hills areas and all that stuff, all those high-end places for whatever reason. You go north and you head north so far, and then all of a sudden the numbers completely change, and then it's south is like another 5 miles. So we got the address and we got there, and at this particular place, we would meet at the studio. The vans would be preloaded. So we would just basically get in the vans and then go. Great. That sounds great. Here's the thing. So we go to we get the address, as we do. We start driving. There's mad traffic everywhere. Now we left when we were supposed to, so this isn't on us. But there's mad traffic. There's been like 3 accidents on the freeways. Southern California, look, freeways are so unpredictable, like all the time. And so we drive, we get to this location on the address. And we pull up and we're slowly starting to kind of take stuff out. We're like, this isn't right. This cannot be the right address. And because it's not like it's a house, but it's like, this doesn't feel right to me. So anyway, we call and we're having trouble connecting with the company. And we're like, look, guys, we finally get a hold of them. We're like, look, guys, this isn't the right address. We're like, that's the address the client gave us. That's where it is. I'm like, are you sure? You sure this is the right address? And turns out it was supposed to be south versus north. So we type in the south for the same address, and it's like 45 minutes the other way. Okay. So we're like, Jesus. Okay. All right. So we get in the car, we get in the vans, we start driving, and we haul ass there. But look, there's no working around it. We're going to be late. It's at a hotel. Hotels, if anybody, look, we're all DJs here. Hotels are notorious for having the worst load-ins known to man. So you get there, you have to check into security, then you got to go through the loading dock. The loading dock's like 5 miles from the venue. There's like 4 elevators and 2 sets of stairs and a scaffold. I mean, it's just a nightmare. So we finally got everything in, and we unload everything, we're pushing everything in, and this is honestly so awkward. So we get through, and look, it's like cocktail is over, and we open the doors, and it's just like a movie. We open the doors, and everybody turns around, and they're all just staring at us, right? And we're like pushing in equipment. And the whole crowd is just staring, and we're just setting everything up. Like, we apologize. Work it out with the corporate, because this has nothing to do with us. We're just here to throw a good party. And so we're setting up. I don't know if anybody's ever had to set up in front of people that are expecting you to do something. It's nerve-wracking. And then you have to be like, ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready to have a good time? And they're like, F you. That was a nightmare party. That's probably the worst party. We got it going. And then it was a bar mitzvah. So we get it going. We do the hora. We actually kill it. People were like, okay, they were late, but obviously they kick ass. Great. We get it all done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to sit down. First course is on its way. And we're finally trying to fix everything up. Photographer comes over. Hey guys, I didn't get the hora. Can you get the kid back in the chair? No, we cannot. Get your ass away from us. You disgust us. We were late. You should have been on time. Then you'd be ready. All right. Okay. Checking out. We got the force in the house. What is going on? What kind of lighting do you use in your studio? Any ring lights? No, I hate ring lights. I use a flat panel circle, which is, I forgot what it's called. I'll get the name for you. But I get it on Amazon. You can buy them in packs of 2. They're LED based. They have a color, a temperature change on them, and a dimmer. So it does everything I need it to do. They're pretty inexpensive. You get 2 of them for like $125, but it comes with the panels, it comes with the stands, it comes with the chargers, or at least the power. But they are also rechargeable. So you can buy the batteries, pop them in, and you can put them anywhere. So those are the ones I use. I don't like ring lights though. And I'm only using one for this setup. When I do my video reviews or any of that stuff, I turn the other one on, but only use one to add a little dramatics into the world here. Okay, let's see here. All right, we got Mark West in the house. Good morning. There's no lie to this. I see no lies whatsoever. All right, what do we got going on here? So we got Rhett Brewer in the house. King of your castle. Yeah, right. Who else we got here? Who else we got? Ladies and gentlemen, we got SCE Event Group in the house. What's going on, Jason? Good to see you, pal. Thanks for hanging out today. T Cool in the house. J Pun in the house. And because it is 9:49, let me make sure that my Instagrams aren't telling me that somebody's having any issues. Just in case. No, we're good. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lady Beats. I appreciate that. No words can express how much I appreciate that. So, in case you guys were wondering, right there. Right there. Oh, man. All right. Okay, so just in case I hire the next. Oh, so I will have to tell you. So I've had 2 close calls. I've never been late besides that event, which wasn't mine. But as far as the company that I owned, I've had 2 close calls, but again, never been late. Now, people are probably saying, well, what does late mean? Well, late means that you're not ready to go when the party starts. That's the key here, okay? I have been late to arrive, maybe for a setup time, but I've never been late for when the party starts. So I've had some close calls. Like I said before, you know, LA is a nightmare city to live in and to work in. So I've had some close calls, and maybe I'll talk about those in a minute, but not yet. Not yet. We'll save those. I'm gonna sneeze. That wasn't obvious or anything, was it? Morning time. Okay, so who do we got else in the house here? Who do we got up? We got kings and queens in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got. Oh, by the way, make sure you follow Kings and Queens. They have they got some super dope streams going on. They got reggae streams. They got pop streams. I believe it's husband and wife, right? I don't want to presume, but I think it's husband and wife that do it together, and it's just dope. I like to see that. So yeah, so if you guys want to hear those stories, yeah, remind me of that. Remind me of that. Shanster DJ in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, the Force. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Hey, I'm still trying to grow up too. Oh, what is, let's see here. I hate setting up in front of people. I like to be early at every gig, but it happened to me once last year at a baby shower. The folks gave me the wrong hour and it was in the summer, so I was sweating bullets. Yes, we've all been there. We have all been there. Yeah, I have tons of tales. Tons of tales. Jetpack bags in the house. Jetpack bags. Jetpack bags. Jetpack bags. I got a video coming out today, guys. I forgot to mention that. I have a video coming out on the Jetpack Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, it is called The Drop. The Drop. And it is super dope. I am not going to talk about it on this show. I want to talk about it on the video. But it's a very cool bag. Very cool. For some reason, I thought that when Jetpack said, hey, release your video, I thought it was at like 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I look at some Instagram posts and it's like 7 a.m. And I'm like, oh, see, I'm not making a video now. I'm going to make this after the show. But super, super dope. Super dope. Okay. All right. We do have people on YouTube, so that's dope. That is dope. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. RM Vidal has a $2 million question. Okay. It better be worth $2 million. Let's see here. And he said 2 times a million, so that's still 2 million. You don't have to like do multiplication with me. Like you can just say 2 million. How do you sort your crates and prepare for a set? That is a $15 million question. That is a super long question because everybody sorts their crates differently, and your crates have to be sorted the way your mind works. Okay, because I have friends right now that are like, I make my crates and I make my set lists, and then I set everything up exactly the way I want it. And it's all, my sorts are all perfect, and I have every song that can go after this one and after that one, and everything's great. And I'm like, that's great. That doesn't work for me. I like to throw all of my crates, which I don't even call crates anymore, I call vibes. I like to throw all of my vibes in the same folder and then work off of that. Because in my mind, for me specifically, that is the way I work. If everything is kind of set up like in a perfect list and I play this song after this song after this song, 2 things happen for me. Okay, look, for me, always for me. But 2 things happen. One, it puts me in a position where I continue to play the same songs over and over again, and it limits what I can do. And then 2, well, it's actually the same thing. It just puts me in a position where I find myself not being as creative as I should be, because I'm like, oh, this song works. Now, what I do is I have vibes, and it could be like, old school hip hop era. It could be 2000 pop. It could be K Tronada vibe, songs that sound like K Tronada, and those are all kind of together. Now, what I do, pause. What I do is I have a crate dedicated, and it's more like a folder, and then the crates underneath it dedicated to all my routines. So, what are routines? Routines are anything that you do that are always the same. But they might deviate a little bit, but they're all the same. So if you have like, an 8-song routine that has a lot of tricks and has a lot of extra things added in, I have routine folders for those. So, like I have a jump around routine, which is like all of these jump songs that they go together. I have them in a folder called, in a crate called Jump Around. I have several of these types of folders, and they really, really do work for me. So, but everybody's different. Like I said, I just find that if you get too rigid in the way you create your crates, it actually can stop you from being creative. For me, you might be different. Now, when you're new and you're just learning how to DJ, sure. You want to put things in crates. You want to have your set list. Basically, because basically a crate is, it's supposed to be in the order that you would like if you were DJing in a crate, old school. You take your crate to the party, and then you have all your songs kind of set up the way you're going to play them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the way you normally do it. But we're not there anymore. Crates don't have to be like that, But too many crates, and that's another thing. That was the other thing I was going to say. Too many crates can screw you up too. You have trouble finding things. So, I break it out by vibe. If I am doing a show for somebody, like say for instance, DMS is like, hey, we want you to perform for it. Okay, great. I will set out something specifically because I want to do something different. Like when we did Funktober with Aiden Scott, I made it a point to make a whole new set because I wanted it to be completely different than I normally DJ. So But to each their own. Everybody does it differently. Everybody's got their thing. But and I named it Funktober. And for me, Funktober is going to be kind of this offshoot of kind of cool things that I wouldn't necessarily play everywhere. But when I want to kind of go deep or go kind of left field a little bit, that's what Funktober will be. And then I will keep adding to Funktober. You know, so that will now be the vibe of the crate. Okay. There you go. I'm sending you a bill. J-Mix says, I have a mobile DJ gig that's got an unfortunate ending. Well, I have too, if you are telling stories. Feel free to throw them in the chat. Feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm never going to say no to that. Okay. Now, I know I told my man 10, and hopefully he's going to show up. I say hopefully because, you know, things happen. You know, he's got children. Things get in the way. But we are still going to hope that we are good. Oh, DJ Spider is typing right now. Okay. While we're waiting for him to finish his typing. Okay, gotcha. Couple technical issues, but he'll be on in just a minute. That's what I like. I like people that communicate. So thank you so much for that. Okay, let's. I might be a little behind schedule. Well, the Force, you know, I salute anybody that's been perfect their entire lives. That is not me. That is not me. Now, again, I will tell one more story. So, and before I tell that story, let me just scroll down the list here, make sure I don't miss anything here. Art Funk Box in the house. Old man in the chair. Hey, man, it's been a while. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out today. Yes. Yep, I do. I love house parties. Oh, that's the world we live in, right there. I sneeze into the screen. You're like, oh, stop, please, come on, man, cover your face. Do you have to do that? That natural bodily function? Can't you go somewhere else for that? Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. Kings and Queen. Yeah, she's dope. She's dope. But that's okay. You know, it is okay to know what level you are in your relationship. It's okay to be like, she's dope. She's doper than I am. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, to me, it's like, it's one of those things where, and Alpha Music in the house, what's going on, fam? It's like, at one point, when my wife was working, you know, she was a farmer rep. You know, she went to college and got her degree, and she has all these things, and she's a farmer rep, making like so much money. I actually missed the so much money part. And but yeah, she was the one, you know, handling things. And I didn't complain one moment. I was like, you want to take care of me? Take care of me. I'm good with that. You know, but the opposite side is, you know, we had nannies and daycare and all these things to pay for. So she made a lot of money, but it seemed to go away really, really fast. Because once you throw in all these outside things that you need in order for that person to work, it's a nightmare. But back to you. I'm glad she's dope. DJ Whoopig in the house. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. At least good to hear from you. We got Alpha Music in the house. If I didn't mention you already, that's one half of the Jetpack Bags dynasty. Jetpack Bags. Jetpack Bags. Yeah, hold on. Let me just put this in here. Okay. He'll be on in just a minute. But hey, we're not worried, right? We're good. We're having a good old time here. Having a good old time. Stress TV. Speaking of one half of Jetpack, this is the other half of Jetpack. Did I mention Jetpack? Did I mention Jetpack bags? Did I mention the snap? Did I mention the drop? Did I mention any of these things yet? Now, in all seriousness, because I know people are like, yo, man, enough about Jetpack. In all seriousness, you know, that's fam right there. And they make great products, and I will never hesitate to brag about people that are like doing things right. So if you hear me say Jetpack bags, it's because I honestly believe in their product and I believe in the guys. That's it. That's it. So if anybody's dope, I'm gonna let you know. Honestly. I mean, it'd be worse if I just said like, oh, there's Jetpack bags. So back to what I was talking about, water. Water is so nutritious. Like that would be far weirder, right? That'd be weird. I swear it's like Jetpack bags has like there's 2 of them, but there's like 4 of them in the chat right now. Okay, let's scroll down right now. Scroll down. Just making sure we got everything going on. And then once we get through Steve Disco Newsom in the house, what is going on? What is going on, fam? That's the man right there. This man is creative. Okay, he is so creative. He is doing things that I would have never even thought of. He saw something he wanted, and he didn't have the means to get it. So he figured out a way to make it happen. And he got it. Now, I'm not going to say on air what it was because I don't know if he wants me to mention any of that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, look, if there are things you want in life, if there are things you want to do or you want to get or achieve, there are ways to do it. There are ways to do it, you know, without robbing a bank, you know, jacking somebody's car. Okay, so let's see who else we got in here, and then I'm going to tell my story. Oh, okay, who we got here? DJ, I think that's Bankai. Is it Bankai? Bankai? I just got my first gig in a long time DJing a martial art nunchuck kids party. Slightly nervous, not knowing what kids listen to nowadays. I usually play EDM. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because EDM does not work for 12 to 15-year-olds. They're not listening to EDM. They're listening to hip hop. They're listening to trap. So I would suggest doing a little research right now and figuring it out. One of the playlists that works. Apple Music has one called It's Lit. And it's basically all the popular kids music right now. You know, it's a really, really good one. Spotify has a whole bunch of them too. So make sure you're prepared. There's nothing worse than going into a party and not having or knowing what is going to make that party go well. Like at all. You know, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes you look bad. And it's not something that I would recommend doing. You know, because there's a different thing, because I always say there's a difference between like not knowing the music and also maybe not being like current enough. Like we go through a dead end where after you know, what is it, June into July, and then we kind of go dead because it's bar and bat mitzvahs until like late August. Okay, so you get there in August and there's been like 2 whole months of music that you have slept on or missed, or maybe it's SoundCloud or something like that. And then when you get to the party and you're like, what are all these songs these kids are asking for? I don't know any of this music. So that the first couple of parties back, usually the first one, and you're like, okay, that's when you got to make sure your Wi-Fi is working properly so you can stream music properly. But your butt after that, you should really know. So if you're going in with an EDM background, please, for your sake, learn that music, pal. Okay, DJ Keith Bowen says, master crate for each genre, sub crates for all the hits. For each genre by decade, move between genres and decades as needed. My routine crates, sample set crates, etc. are also independent crates. That's a lot of crates. Again, Keith Bowen sounds like he's very, very meticulous. And that is fantastic. I'm not that meticulous. Look, my natural abilities are freeform. Okay, as you didn't realize, like having a conversation with the camera with nobody on, no script. That's natural for me for some strange reason. So I DJ the same way. And, it's just everybody's different. But yeah, that's definitely one way to be super, super clean. Yeah, Steve sorts them by genres. There you go. Funk Master Fletch in the house. Somebody's getting sued. I am DJ Drake in the house. What is going on? Okay. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like if I'm doing a bar mitzvah or a wedding or corporate, like I have playlist designed for that. Like I have my wedding classics, which is like all the classic crooners and the Frank Sinatra's and all of those things. And then I have wedding music, which in reality, the same thing can apply to any event. I have my adult party crate, which lists everything in there. But like I was saying before, that can also hold you back because you're operating in this one crate thinking, okay, I got it all. And then you realize that like, oh, these people like old school. These people like funk. And I doubt that like funk is in like your adult crate, which is like your adult pop crate. So you got to be willing to jump around and take chances, which is why, like I said, minor outlines. Yeah, I guess that's how you have to look at it. All minor outlines, and then I myself get into the details. Because then when I'm thinking about songs I want to play, I'm not limited to just what I'm seeing. Because I might play a song one time and then I hear a completely different song I want to go into. Or I want to go from this song to this song to this song in, a couple of minutes and go from there. There's actually this story, and it's actually a story about Lionel Richie. And it was during his like heyday when he was making like, Hello, all those songs, right? And they asked him, how do you write music? How do you do it? And he said, to be honest with you, the way I do it is I always start with the G chord on the piano. I play the G chord, and every time I play it, a completely different song comes out. Every time. That's kind of the way I work. So I play a song, and depending on the atmosphere, depending on the setup, the scenario, I am going to move around from that song. You shouldn't be kind of stuck playing the same thing just because it's in a playlist. That's not good DJing in my opinion. And that's just one man's opinion. Your mileage may vary. Okay. As we're going down this stream, I want to try to hit all these things because I do see Spider in the green room. So we'll get to him in just a second. All right. Promo completed. Yeah, I can say that. Oh, that's funny. Anyway. All right, scrolling through, just making sure we are caught up to speed here. Art Funk Pucks, I play the instrumentals. Oh, if we're worried about dirty music, yeah, this is where things like DJ City, BPM Supreme, where finding clean versions of music are going to come in handy. Also, for this one, I would definitely tell you that if you have access to a streaming service like a BeatSource link, especially for kids music, BeatSource link, or even Tidal, those are the two that I would recommend because they do have clean and dirty versions of music. So unless it says, if it says explicit, it's dirty. If it doesn't say explicit, you're fine. So that's what I would definitely recommend for you, because playing the instrumentals is crap. That's the worst thing, because the moment you start playing the instrumentals, the kids are going to be like, play my song, and you're going to be stuck there looking dumb, you know, because I've had that happen to me. People are like, we don't want you to play anything of anything bad, and you're stuck playing the instrumentals, and you look like an idiot as they're like dancing, waiting for the verse to come on. It's like, how long is this until the verse? This is the worst intro ever. Like that's we don't want that. Okay. Okay. I'm glad that we're still talking about crates in here. So I think we are good. Now, I am going to be bringing on the man in a minute. If I did forget any of your questions, Mighty Rel in the house, what's going on, man? If I did forget about any of your questions, please go ahead and just re-ask them. Cleveland Terry Ritchie. I got stories for days, man. You know, there is a reason that I put the Terry Talks emote on my stream there. There is a reason. Stories for days. So, so last story before I bring on Spider. There was this one party, and it was on PCH. And we were, again, one of those things where we weren't late. The party was starting at like 6 o'clock. Well, at least the cocktail was 6 o'clock. Now, keep in mind, this was kind of one of those open door events. So the party starting at 6 o'clock means that even though cocktail's at 6 and the party starts at 7, everybody's in the room at 6. So you have to be ready to go before cocktail. So we ran into an issue. It was one of those like mudslide type things on PCH. If anybody knows about SoCal, PCH, this is the things you deal with. And it was just taking forever. I mean, we were on PCH to go like 5 miles. It took like an hour and a half. Now, we typically have about a 2 hour time to get to an event. But the traffic took so long that we got there, and it was like, I think we had like 30 minutes to go before cocktail. Now, again, cocktail's in the same room, so we don't have that opportunity to just kind of roll everything in and then start setting up while cocktail's happening. And so we get there, and mom and dad are kind of setting up, throwing up their balloons and all that stuff. And dad's like heated, right? He's looking at us like, come on, guys, we got to get going. We got to get going. The party starts in a half hour. We're like, oh, yes, we understand. We'll be set up. We just getting all the equipment, right? So we're getting all the equipment, and it's kind of far away. So we're trying to roll it in, and dad's just like staring at us, like heated. Like, you know, when you comes to a point where you no longer are a person, you're just like an employee, you know, you're like a waiter. That's how dad was staring at us, like you work for me, do as I say. So anyway, we're setting up, and dad's just looking at us, and he's like, and we can hear him. He's talking loud. I can't believe these guys. Party's about to start. Come on, we got to get this going. We got to get this going. And he's like nonstop, right? We're ignoring him. Like, whatever. We'll get done. We'll be set up in time. And so he's still talking. He's like, come on, guys. Come on, like under his breath. It got to a point. And this is a party where both my partner and I were on this party, which isn't usual. So we're like wiring the speakers. This is when we didn't have any power speakers. Everything was amped. So we're putting the cables in the amp, and he's like, come on, guys, come on. He's clapping his hands, right? Let's go. Right? And we're like, okay, we ignore him the first time. And I'm talking to my partner under my breath. I'm like, dude, if this man says one more thing to me, I'm about to hit him in the face. He's like, I know. So we're continuously working, and we still have time, but we're almost set up. We need like maybe 10 minutes, which would put us before the party started. And he's getting closer and closer, and he's like, come on, let's go. And this wasn't coordinated. We both were like, all right, man, we got you. Let us get our job done. And we yelled at him, right? And he looked at us like, oh shit, angry black men. And then he stopped. He's like, Okay, fine. And then we got set up and we had the party and the party rocked. But that's life. And I have one more story that we'll talk about at another point. Stars actually was a kind of a big entertainer. That's another story altogether. Tweak Music Tips in the house. What's going on, fam? Make sure you follow Tweak Music Tips. That's the fam right there. You know, they are super, super dope. And everything that we do, we try to work together and team up and turn this thing into something that hasn't been done. So I do want to bring on Mr. DJ Spider. So we're gonna get him on right now. So we're gonna move over to a commercial real quick, and then we'll make sure he's on. So enjoy for a minute. Okay, look, I know you think this is a little weird that we're sitting here talking and I just left and I was in a completely different outfit. Well, that's future me. I'm past me. So what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about while they're setting up for this next guest that's coming on, and I'm sure they're going to be dope, but I want to talk to you a little bit about ways to support the channel. You see, there's a lot of work that goes into this channel, and the only way to keep it going, the only way to keep bringing on new people and upgrading the sets and upgrading the intros is by you supporting me. So there's a couple of ways that you can support me, and I'm not sure that a lot of you know this. If you're new to Twitch, you want to look down right here. There's a little subscribe button. That's the easiest way to support me. It's like $5. It's like buying me a cup of coffee. If we're at the bar, you're buying me a beer. If you're feeling a little more generous, maybe you want to gift somebody a free sub. If you are a Prime member, you can use your Prime membership. You get one per month. You can use that on me. It doesn't cost you anything. Now, if you're sitting there on the YouTube side, you can also hit that membership button right there, or you can give me a super chat and then send me off a tip. Look, I know that times are tough, money's tough, and I know that what I'm asking for some of you people might be a little too difficult. So there are other ways that you can help the channel. You can host the stream, share the stream. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, share the stream to everybody. Get the word out. That's the easiest way to help me out, and that doesn't cost you a dime. Those are just a couple of ways that you can do this. Also, if you feel like just sending a tip directly to me, Venmo or Cash App located right here. All right, guys, I think they're coming back, so I need to get out of here. Just remember what I said. We'll see you soon. Bye. Yo, we on?
We on. Can you hear me? Am I good?
I can hear you, but you're not going through my earphones, so let me just make sure you're popped
Okay.
up.
Let's see what's up. I was having little morning mic problems, but I think I'm good.
That's okay. Now I just can't hear you out of my earphone here. So hold on.
Okay, let's see. How you guys feeling? Can you guys hear me out there? What's happening? Yo. What up? I see you guys in the chat. What up, DJ Six? I love that commercial. It was very informative.
I'm gonna move over to this one.
Terry can't hear me, so I'm gonna talk to you guys, okay? I'm co-hosting right here.
Okay.
Yo.
I got you now.
Okay, great. I was just I was co-hosting. I was trying to help carry the chat.
And I honestly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'm here for you.
Let me throw up. I just realized I didn't even have my overlay on, so let's get that bad boy on real quick.
What up? I see you, Jason Jan, SCE event group, Tweak Music Tips, Mighty Rel. What up, y'all?
See, so you know all the guys here. So that's
yeah.
dope. Now you've actually been a little quiet. Like I've seen you on. You're not streaming. You're not. Is there any inclination to stream?
I'll be on. I will be on soon. Maybe I'll even force myself to do a test stream later today. I'm overly ready. Is everything good with my sound?
I think you sound great.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Everybody else, are we good on sound? Just let us know in the chat.
There's step one. Oh, I see Elliot Estes in there. He's helping me make my emotes. Shout to him. I am doing my thing. I've been having a lot of other things happening. I know you do too. I mean, you got family life and all that. But I am going to be on soon. I got a PC. I built out scenes. I have a green screen. I have a whole show ready to go. I have a few different shows, I've just been sort of, I think I'm in procrastination mode at this point. But I'll be on. I'll be on. Yes. So very soon, follow my channel, and who knows? Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, I'll be on.
So I guess one of my, well, I know you have a child, you have a son.
Yes.
And you're married. And I was looking through your website, as I always do, to kind of learn a little more about the guest. And obviously, first off, your website is great. You know, whoever the person that designed it, it looks great. It has a good vibe to it. Like it feels like you. You know
right.
what I mean?
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. And but I was looking, and the first thing on your page is always like events and all the things you're doing. And I'm like, and you're looking, you're like, look, everything is just stopped. There's nothing happening anywhere around here. So how has that impacted you?
I know. Well, I mean, to be honest, my website was always like the least updated thing. So I looked back at it too, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even like. I have some Ferrari event up there that I had done, which was super dope. But I had done even more Ferrari events since then and not posted up, which I meant to. So I'm not good at updating my website as much as I should be.
Gotcha.
But no, I mean, it's been insane. You know, you know how it is. Everything's changed since March. I mean, I remember, what was it? Probably March 11th, I think, was the date I got all the phone calls of, you know, your gig. Like I had a gig. I was supposed to go to San Francisco. I think it was March 12th and do a nightclub called Love and Propaganda. It was my residency. I go there every 6 weeks. And they're like, yo, we're going to postpone it just a little bit. Gonna be fine. Great. Right. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Of course, now it's, you know, about to be Halloween. Nothing's happening. And then I was supposed to do this amazing, like I was so hyped. Like I was supposed to do a gig with Travis Barker where he was going to play drums and I was going to DJ. And it was for FanDuel, and it was a corporate event. So it's like, you know, we do corporate events where we're like, oh, it's just for the money. And this was the kind of corporate event where I'm like, this is the coolest thing I'm going to ever do. And of course they're like, this is being postponed too. And I'm like, no, this is a nightmare. Yeah. So I don't know what postpone means anymore, but everything is just kind of crazy. I got hit up last night and someone wrote me, yo, we have an event in June 2021. We were wondering if there's a vaccine. Will you come DJ? Oh, because we're going to do a full-blown, it was something like, we're going to do a full-blown wedding if there's a vaccine. I'm like, I can't believe this is the conversation. Yes. Like, what is the world right now? So it's crazy, you know, had to transition. Obviously, I like to look at things as much as I can through a positive lens and look at challenges as opportunities. So there's been a lot of silver lining and a lot of good things that have come out of it and a lot of crazy ideas and things. But yes, that was my main income. I mean, that's crazy. It's been really hard and different and learning experience, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much it. It sucks. I mean, you can't really... There's no way around it.
It sucks. And just having no idea what's happening, what's going to happen, and looking at other countries. And when it was going down, you were sort of looking at Asia as like the marker of what's going to happen. Right. So like when that starts coming back, okay, then the way that started, it'll come back here. But now I'm like, oh no, that's not it. You know what I mean? They're their own. Yeah. They're wearing the mask and doing the thing and making sure it's fine. I talked to my friend in Taiwan, and he's like, yo, there's no MAGA, no COVID, nothing out here. And I'm like, that sounds like heaven, you know? So it's, not to get political, but
no, it's okay.
It's, you know, it's crazy. So in a way, it's like, now I'm looking at Europe, like what's happening out there. And that's where it's spiking. So I don't know what to think anymore about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was just I was on with both Mojax and TLM, DJ TLM, and they were both saying the same thing. They were like, we were good, everything was great. I'd booked a couple of gigs that were coming up, and then we spiked, and now we're back at home doing the thing. So it's complicated. I mean, you know, you're a Southern California guy like I am, and I did a wedding like 2 weeks ago, and I've done a couple of events, but they've been like backyard events, you know, 25, 30 people. The first wedding that I did, which was great, they tested everybody as they came in the house. They set the event up 2 hours early. They tested everybody, so everybody that was there was technically clean. So I was like, okay, that's great. Fast forward to the following week.
Yeah.
And we are in, no, it's like Santa Clarita. It's basically almost Lancaster.
Right.
And it's this outside tent. So, oh, don't worry, it's going to be safe. It's outside. 250 people. And I get there and the tent is like,
lot.
it's a huge amount. And I'm like, and I'm talking to my partner, like, Paris, Paris.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And I'm talking to him like, well, how big is the dance floor? 250 people. You're going to need like a 80 by 80 dance floor to like be safe. And he's like, no, it's going to be big. Everything's good. And we get there and it's like a circus tent. So it's not like it's open around the walls. It's all enclosed except for the front entrance. And I'm in there like, this is
might as well be inside at that point. That's how they tent a termite thing on your house for nothing to get out.
Exactly. And the dance floor is like 20 by 20. And I'm like, yo, man, this is not what they said. They're like, well, hey, the CDC approved it. I'm like, that's because they didn't know. They walk into a place and it's just wide open. They can't see everything the way it's supposed to be designed. So
and who's the CDC? I mean, that's the thing. That's a crazy thing too. That's a new business. I know people that have started businesses their entire business, and it started to do good, is their COVID monitors. And so they are making deals with the TV studios for the shoots and parties and event planners, because you need to have a certain amount of COVID monitors for a certain amount of people to do it. And it's like, that's the new business that's coming out of all this. It's insane. You never would have thought,
That is amazing. Yeah. But how legitimate are these people? Like,
well,
how
exactly.
much do they
It's like probably like going to driving school. You know what I mean? Like traffic school when you get a ticket. You're like, okay, I'm smarter now. I got I know not to speed. So I don't know. Right. That's nuts. Oh my God. So did you guys do it?
No, we did it because we were far enough, and they had a band, they had a drummer, God. So we get there, and first off, you can never get to any place before a band gets anywhere, because they'll take up the entire space and leave you with like an itty bitty amount. Yeah. And so we get there and I'm like, there's like a 8-piece band. I have no idea if these people are safe. I guarantee you, who knows? And they're singing and everything, and they're right next to us sweating around. I'm like, this is like the number one way of transmitting COVID now. Like it's the exercise part. So now I'm freaked out. I got my mask on. My partner Paris, as much as he'll say, oh, I'm COVID safe, he starts talking to people. He's Mr. Personality. Things go by the wayside. I'm like, nope, get away from me. I don't know you, 6 feet. And he's like, you got to stop acting. I'm like, look, man, I'm just trying to stay safe. I got to go home and be with the family in a minute. Yes. Like, I'm not trying to infect my family. Exactly. Especially when this is not what they promised us when we took the booking,
Right, exactly. And how it is when people are drinking and they start partying, and also just human beings want to be social and they don't want to be awkward, especially like Americans, I feel like, are just like this thing where you can't see them smiling, then you think something weird's happening. And so I know what you mean. That's
and it's funny because the first party, even when the people got tested and they were clear, I had like 2 people come up to me and say, are you wearing your masks? I'm like, well, we haven't been tested. We're workers. It's only for the guests because we're far away. She goes, well, are we allowed to wear masks? Like, you do what you want to. She goes, I kind of feel like I want to wear my mask. Like, that's okay. Like, you can do these things.
Are we allowed to? That's the confusing thing. It's crazy.
So fast forward to the party I was just talking about. Everybody walking in the room, no masks on. And I know they haven't been tested. So now I'm just like, no, I'm just uncomfortable. That thing where you're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is bad. And they're on the dance floor. They're dancing their butts off. No masks. And I'm just like, if this is where it is, I told my partner, I'm like, look, I won't be on these parties. It's just the way it is. I know
like you think I'm scuba tank or something.
Yes. I know you think it's weird, but I'm not going to be on there. I believe the science. And I believe that if there's a chance that's higher than the flu that I can die, I'm going to avoid that as much as I can.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And you don't want to pass it on to people. No, I did similar. I got hit up recently in the beginning of this month. Someone hit me, yo, can you do a party And I'm like, when? And this was like Monday or Tuesday. And they're like, Saturday. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I haven't done a party since March. I've done some Zoom things. And, and that's what I've offered to people. I'm like, I'll make you a playlist for this much. I'll do a live Zoom thing for this much, a private Twitch, something. But for this, it was the same thing. They said, listen, small party, 50 people only, everyone getting tested. They're sending a private service doctors to all the guests' house the day before.
Oh, that's cool.
And then all the vendors are going to get the rapid test when they get there. I'm like, okay, I guess so. And I ended up doing it. I didn't even post it on the internet because I feel weird. Everything's so weird. Right? You used to be like, I'm DJing. Now I'm like, I'm hiding. I don't want to tell anyone what I'm doing because like, I don't know, but same thing. Like they tested me, they tested everyone, but I still wore a mask there.
Yeah.
And then when I get there, the event planner's like, you got tested, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, take your mask off. And it was like, I'm like, I don't want to. And she's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's like famous last words, And I'm
right.
Like, I'm like, all right. So like I take it off. But as the DJ too, you're the person everyone's going to come up in their face drunk and say things. Like, you don't have that song? Hey, bro, what kind of equipment is that? Is that a Serato? You're like, yo, stop talking to me. You like, go talk to everyone else, So like that happened. It all happened. So, and also the testing thing was definitely a weird thing for me too, because they're like, all right, at 8:30 in the morning, a doctor's going to show up at your front door, and they're going to stick a crazy thing down your nose and your throat. And I'm like, oh God, what is about to happen? I get up and like, these two women come up, like, dressed, they're nurses and all done up. And they're like, hey, we're here to test you. I'm like, all right, cool. And like 2 minutes later, this doctor guy in full scrubs comes up and he goes, hey, the whole gang's here. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You guys are sending a lot of people.
Why do you need so many people for a COVID test?
And he's like, am I testing all you guys? And I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't even know them. I thought you guys are together. He goes, I don't know them either. And they're like, we don't know him. And I'm like, what is happening right now? So somehow they sent like too many doctors to my house. And then they're all holding these sticks, like, who's sticking the thing in his nose? I'm like, I don't know, the least painful one, please. So I ended up, these girls were like, well, we're doing everyone in the whole party. And he's like, all right. And then it was like doctor beef. Like, he's like, oh, this is what you guys do now? This is all you do? I'm like, okay, it's like DJ beef, but doctor beef. So he leaves and they do the test. But yeah, same thing. I go to the party and it's just a weird world that we're in right now. They flew some dude out from Atlanta to sing and he was amazing. He was really, really cool. But another weird thing happened was that there was like a couple 18-year-olds there. It was like a weird mix. There was like 3 13-year-olds, like 5 or 8 18-year-olds, and then all these like 45 to 50-year-olds, probably the rest of the people, like 20, 30 people. And the 18-year-olds wanted to like party, and the dude's singing, and this girl is coming up, like he's on the mic like this, and she's like right here trying to sing into the mic with him, and you can just hear everyone talking like, that's way too close. That's way too close. No, not good. What do we do? Do we tell her? I don't know. Do we tell her? Is the guy okay? I don't know. And everyone's freaking out. So it's just like, this is the world we live in. And then it happened too. Like the dude making the snow cones came over to me like, yo, I'm a DJ too, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let's not get so close. I don't need to shake your hand. Like, we'll do the elbow deal, So yes, I'm starting to experience that as well. And it's weird.
That's like a children's show. Too many doctors. Like you could totally have a show about that.
I know, dude.
1 doctor, 2 doctor, 3 doctor. Too many doctors.
and they're all holding that long COVID thing, I'm like, at least I went through it. I got the rapid test, which doesn't go as deep. So when I did that, I was all cocky. I'm like, yo, it's not so bad. I don't even care. And then I got the real deal test, that PCR test. Oh my God, that was serious. Like that goes, now I understand how the people put like that string through their mouth and nose and like rub, I was like, yo, I don't want to do this every day.
Oh man. Yeah. It's tough out there. Yeah. The singer, cause they're all personalities. So they're close to you. Hey, can you do I can't do anything for you right now. I can't even watch movies the right way anymore. You ever watch a movie now? You're like, Why are they so close? Oh, that's right. They're not in COVID.
Exactly. Everything looks weird. Yeah. I can't even listen to like podcasts where it's like from the past, like strictly April 2020 on only content I consume.
So I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
the first time I met you, because you obviously know one of my friends, Reggie, and you know Paris.
Yeah. I think, let me say Sacramento.
Yes, Sacramento.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's I don't even call it a funny thing. It was a bad thing. So we get there to do this bar mitzvah, and like before the bar mitzvah starts, my wife calls me like hysterical. My mother, not my mother, her mother, had an aneurysm. Okay, so she's like, "Oh my God, we're in the hospital. We don't know what's going to happen." And I'm like, "Okay, let me see if there's any flights out." At that point, there are no flights. You're screwed. I'm like, honey, I can't do anything until tomorrow morning. I got to just get on a flight tomorrow. I'll take the earliest one on. So when I met you, when I'm DJing, literally that's in the back of my head, like, oh my God, like my mother-in-law is about to die, and I'm sitting up here DJing. I got a feeling for a whole bunch of 13-year-olds. It was
what a juxtaposition of just life right there. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, after the party, you were there and I met you and it was super dope. And I was like, he's a super dope guy. Like, sometimes you meet people and you're like, okay, you're an ass, like for no reason at all.
Yes, of course. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. No, I remember that night I was DJing at the park, Sacramento. Yes. Shout to Brian Bassett and everyone. Hopefully I'll be back there one day.
Seriously.
And shout to Elliot Estes. I see you in the chat. I think I met him there a long time ago too. But yeah, that was a crazy night, and I didn't know that was going on with you. I'm just like feeding you guys like tequila shots or something. We couldn't hear. It was so loud. It was like one of those. We were doing like DJ sign language where it's like, it's like it's so loud.
Exactly. Yeah. But that was a dope night though. Honestly, it was
fun.
The first time I saw you live, and I remember. It's funny. I remember. Because we're all DJs there, we're all just kind of standing around, and we are VIP. So we're kind of hanging behind the ropes, and you're the first two that went on, and you went on. And I was like, okay, this guy is super dope. Like this guy is doing and it's funny because all the DJs are literally looking at each other, and DJs are DJs. They're like, they have no idea what he just did right there. They have no idea the wordplay involved, how he just spun that around. They're just dancing and drunk, and So it's one of those things where I kind of want to take it back because I want to know a little bit about your history. When did you start? How did you start? What did you kind of start on? Like, what got you into this whole DJing thing?
Right. Well, okay. I grew up here in LA, and the early 90s, that's my age right there. The early 90s, I was in high school. So that's when I discovered raves in downtown LA. And I remember when I was 16, my friend said, I go to these parties called Insomniac. This guy Pasquale throws them, who now is like the biggest person in the world. But they would break into these warehouses in downtown that were abandoned, bring in generators and turntables and whatever, and DJ, and we would pay money and go just see it. I didn't know what they were doing, and at the same time I'm listening to Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Gangstar, Dilated Peoples, whatever, all that stuff. So I'm hearing, I probably not Dilated Peoples, but all that stuff. Yeah. I'm hearing scratching sounds, and I'm watching these DJs, and I'm like, what? I didn't know what they were doing. I thought the people were making the music at the raves, and then like I thought they were up there making it live. And I remember seeing this guy RAW who calls himself 6 Block now, and he's on Twitch, which is amazing. I see him now. I'll watch him, to this day, and And so then, and he was doing crazy things because he would be playing like it was like breaks and drum and bass and putting acapellas over it from hip hop. And it was just blowing my mind. I didn't know how they were doing it. So one of my friends gets turntables. We start to learn what's going on. And that was it. I mean, I just was like, oh, this is dope. I want to try to do this. So I have to, it takes a long time to save up and get your turntables. Yes. I remember getting them like, I saved up, and some wedding DJ who had transitioned to CDs
Of
was
course
like,
you did.
I don't need these old things anymore. And I had to drive to like so far. I was $300 a turntable. I had to save up all this cash, and I got my 2 Techniques. I still got them, here. And,
Right.
and he sold them to me, and that was that, probably 1996 or something. And
Right.
and then that was around when I started college, and I moved up to this place right above the Bay Area called Sonoma. And
Good old Sonoma. Wine country.
yeah, and I that was it. Like, there's nothing to do up there, and I would practice DJing all the time, and I just wanted, and I started running the radio station up there and started my own show called The Basement, and with 2 S's, which now, funny enough, E-Rock has a whole thing off that. It's like, it was the same name.
Oh, right.
I ended it, but yeah, so I just would like, that was the beginnings of that. I wanted to be a scratch DJ and a drum and bass DJ and a hip hop DJ and sort of just mix it all together. And it was just a matter of sitting in my house and practicing all the time. Never did I think it would be a job, or I'd be this age in a house that I got from DJing or anything, I mean, it's such a different thing. But yes, I started it from a very artistic point of view and wanting to share music with the world and just have fun with DJing.
Gotcha. So, by the way, what was your first mixer? You have your turntables.
Oh my! I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like this long. I wish I still had it. It was long, and like the crossfader had that like dip in it. It wasn't even like a real thing, I don't think. It was like the longest crossfader ever. It had no cut, and you'd have to go all the way across, back and forth. And
was that the Mojo by Rain?
No, it was not Rain. It was the horrible it was no company I've ever heard of. I don't know what it was. I think I got it from I don't remember. I wish I would have like had, something. But then I remember I got the Newmark, that blue Newmark that had these buttons. There were cut buttons next to the crossfader, and I thought I was like DJ Premier, because I'm like, I could make the sound where it would cut in and out, and I'd be like, da, 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 da. And I was like, it would be like a fake cheating transform. And
right.
That thing was like, I felt like I was on the next level. And then finally I graduated to, I think, 1 or 2 other kind of crap ones. And then finally the Rain 54 or something, Oh no, a Vestax. I got that skinny 2 Vestax. That's stupid.
The PMC? Not the PMC.
Yeah, the weird, like kind of crappy, skinny one.
Oh, yes. I remember that one. Yeah.
And like the fader died after like 2 months, and I'm just like, oh, that's how I learned to do the up faders and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I went through a lot of different equipment.
Now, obviously you mentioned that you did raves and you hip hop and, EDM. If you listen to the way, not you, but if people were to listen to the way that you DJ, there's a lot of different aspects and musical influences in there. You think that came from that? I mean, because a lot of DJs out there nowadays, or even before, they kind of get stuck in their, I'm a backpack DJ and that's what I play. And you didn't do that. So how did you decide, that this is kind of the DJ you wanted to be?
I mean, it's all been a learning process and evolution. And like, I wanted to be, of course, the like, boom. I wanted to be like a drum and bass DJ and also like a boom bap kind of dope hip hop. But I remember the first time I made girls dance, and that was like
that's all it takes.
That was the eye opener for me, dude. Like, I was like, because I was just like, yo, I'm gonna play this for my boys. Check out this new Wu-Tang song, and who cares? I only DJ for me and scratching, and I remember. I was at college. I was probably 19 or something. And they were like, yo, the spot, this little whatever crap spot in our town. They were like, we're going to do an 80s party. We want you to DJ. And, it's vinyl. So I had like 100 records. I didn't have anything. I had like a couple DJ Rectangle scratch records that I would practice with. And just like whatever I had, and it was very just underground hip hop. And so I'm like, I can't do this. So I remember I had to save up every single dollar I had at the time. I went to Berkeley and I went to San Francisco. Yeah, I see Jake Pashinsky in the house. He was my co-host on my radio show, Pushy J. He's in the chat. Shout to you. And he he helped me so much too. And I went down there and I remember going to the 80s section in Amoeba and Rasputin's, because that was the only place they were, and buying whatever records I could and going and trying to learn. I didn't even know 80s music that much. To me, like, pop music was cheesy, it wasn't like cool. And so I bought some of it and went, I see you, Cobra Arcade, the spider. And then I went and got these 80s records, did the party. And I remember there was actual girls there, which, I wasn't great at talking to those type of people at the time, but, and I play the records. They're dancing and having fun. They're talking to me and having fun. Yep. I'm like, this is a weird experience.
Ding, ding, ding. They're talking to me.
Why are female species wanting to talk to me? Like, this is weird. And so, like, that was just an eye opener. And I realized, wow, like, there's something to this DJ thing. There's different aspects to it, and I remember going to raves and you want to make those people dance, but it was different and people were doing crazy stuff there. And, it was like a different kind of vibe. So those kind of things opened my eyes. And then just, it was such a long time, from there for about, till my mid 20s. I had never been to like a club, like a bottle service club and all that stuff. So it was then when I started going and seeing people like DJ AM and Mark Ronson and that kind of world, where I was like, that really opened my eyes. Like, wait, these people like the same things I like, but they're rocking the club and they're playing everything from this classic rock that I know to anything, and because I love all kinds of music. I grew up listening to, my dad would play me everything, jazz and everything, and I loved reggae and like I said, Jake in the chat, I mean, he was my college roommate, and he had these crates of reggae from his dad that, I mean, we would learn so much just listening to him all day, every day. So I just like to be diverse, and that's what got my brain to try to be. I was like, I want to mix everything together, and then when I got to the nightclubs, I saw AM, and I'm like, yo, you can do that in a crazy way and mix the scratching with it and then still play the hip hop you like, but then make the girls happy too. So it was just a mix of that. And then it's just been a long evolution of just trying to, I guess once the business part came into play, I wanted to make money and make this my life and make it my job. And that was always a frustrating thing, having the person at the bar like, what are you doing? Like, you suck. Why are you playing this stuff? Like, you got to make people dance. And I'm like, oh, I hate this. But you just have to find that balance where you're happy and you still feel genuine and authentic with what you're doing, but you're playing pop music that people want to hear in your own way, I guess.
Exactly. So let's just real quickly.
Yes.
Where did the name come from?
Okay, the name came from in high school. The name at this point, I'm like, I would be happy to just have my real name at this point. But the name, there's also a little bit I know there'd be a DJ Spider in every country on Earth, and I'm like, I have to like send cease and desist.
Yeah,
out,
you got a Spider UK. Cannon. I saw that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
It's crazy. So even with the social media thing, it's like, yo. But so in high school, I would play basketball with my friends. I'm not claiming that I was the best. I actually probably was the worst. But I was very tall and skinny and lanky, and my hair was way longer. And we would hang out with this dude named Poncho, was one of the dudes in our crew. And he would always just yell, pass to the spider, pass to the spider. And I'm like, why you call me the spider? He's like, you look like a crazy spider, dude, when you're going around. And I'm like, all right. I remember getting to college and I started this underground hip hop show, and all the people, at the time, it's the mid 90s. They're like my real name is Oliver. So there you go. All you guys that wanted to know. Okay. And no one could have guessed. And they're like, yo, you can't call yourself Oliver and have a hip hop show. You sound whack. I'm like, okay. They're like, well, what did people call you before? I'm like, they call me the Spider. And they're like, so I was like, there we go. You tuned into the basement. You're listening to the Spider. So that was my
DJ
name.
Spider.
And then as it went on, I was like, all right, I'm going to change the to a DJ and just kind of go from here. And then that's where it is.
Gotcha. That's funny. Well, I think we've all had those. You're fortunate enough to at least have the one name. Like most DJs will go through like 30 names in their lifetime. It took me forever to finally settle on my real name, which is Cleveland Terry. And people are just like, "Oh, you're from Cleveland, Ohio. Stand up!" I'm like, no. It's my real name. So,
so your real first name is Cleveland?
Yes, yes, it is.
Wait, so tell me the story behind that. Okay.
It's actually a really, really short story. I actually told it before, but I'll tell it again. My uncle, his name was Cleveland. So when my mom gave birth to me, she was a single mom at the time. He was basically like, "Hey, name him Cleveland after me." And so that's what she said. So for whatever reason, she's like, "Cleveland." My friends call me Terry for the most part. Right. But the funny thing about it is not that it's Cleveland Terry. The funny thing is we used to call my Uncle Gigi, like G as in goat, Gigi. And it was forever because I didn't know where I got the name from too. So I'm like, "Hey mom, why did you name me Cleveland anyway?" She goes, "Oh, that's your uncle's name." I'm like, "Who?" She goes, Uncle Gigi. Who? Like, yeah. She's like, "Uncle Gigi." I'm like, "Wait a minute, but his name is Gigi." She goes, "Oh, no. We used to call him CG, but the kids couldn't pronounce the C. So all of you kids would just call him Gigi. That's why you never knew that was your name." So I got it from my uncle.
That's great. Oh, so your last name is Terry?
No, that's my middle name. My last name is Bowens. Yeah. So
Cleveland Terry. Okay, I knew that because I'm friends with you on other platforms. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but live and learn. Everybody says the same thing, But yeah, I can't break away from Ohio at all, and it is what it is.
That's so funny. That's amazing.
But it's coffee talk, right? It's something that you can always have a conversation about. "Oh yeah, Cleveland," and it kind of breaks the ice. Yeah, and then you can go from there.
If you DJ in Cleveland, you get mad love. People are like, "Yes, Cleveland
exactly.
Terry.
He's from here. He made it out of here. That was the man." Yeah. I remember him when he was. Yeah, no, you don't. I've never been there. So, okay. So, you know what? Let's take a little side note here. I want to talk about. Actually, I want to talk about this, and I want to know where it came from. So, just watch along with me.
Oh, wow. So I'm an idiot. I'm glad I posted that last night. Gave you some
Exactly.
Okay, so if you guys want to see, I must have over 100 of these things. I think I've made 150 of them at this point. Just type in the hashtag DJ Spider Maglife on Twitter or Instagram. I even have a whole Instagram dedicated to it if you want to just waste your life watching it. But that started. It's funny because I remember exactly the second that started, because you remember Vine, the social media Vine. So I loved Vine, and I was in the Vegas area. I would just do little vines, 6-second things. And I would do like, "Oh, I'm going to film this thing," and do my face like a reaction. And I remember I was in the Vegas airport, and, I traveled pre-COVID, I traveled a lot in my previous life. And now I'm home in this chair 24 hours a day. But so I I would travel all the time. I lived in airports. And remember in Vegas airport, I would always pass by this little shop. It's like one of those like gag shops that like would have like, underwear with like sayings on it, like, like
Right.
boxer shorts with like home of the Whopper on the front or something, like some stupid thing. And I was like, what is this? And so like I would go up to it and I was like, I'm going to film a video on my Vine. It's going to be funny. I'm going to film the underwear and then the stuff. And then I'm going to film my reaction. And, I went into the store and I did it. And I was doing it. I did a couple underwear and my face, and I would be like, "Whoa!" Oh. And the lady came up to me and she's like, "What are you doing? Like, get out of here! You can't film the underwear." And I'm like, "Oh, great! Now I'm like a perv with the phone." And I'm like, "No, it's like a joke for a social." Okay, I'm out. So I leave, and there was still like 3 seconds left on the video, and I passed by the magazine shop, and I saw like a couple little magazines. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to do it to the magazine to like finish off the Vine. So like I filmed like some dude's face and I was like, hey, and I looked like it. And then I filmed like a shark or something and I tried to look like it. And I was like, ooh. And that was it. Then all these people were commenting like, yo, that was so funny. Haha. And then so I did it. So then I tried like to do a whole magazine one and people were like, yo, this is funny. And then like right after that, Instagram went at Vine and created Instagram video and let you do 15 seconds on the thing. And I had way more followers on there. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to do a 15-second one. It's going to be crazy, So I remember trying it out and I was probably in Vegas again because I'd go there. I used to be in Vegas airport like twice a week at least. And I would, I had a residency, I don't know, whatever, somewhere. And then I would, so I did it. I filmed the magazine and then I filmed my face and then I filmed magazine and I would just turn the camera. Like I'd film the magazine and then I'll double tap it. So it'd switch back to my face and I'd be like, and then I'll do another magazine. And then I was like, yo, I could find, cause you're in those stores, they got glasses and all this stupid stuff. So I'm like, I'm so bored. I've got a layover. My flight's 5 hours delayed. I would just find like a weird stuffed animal to be the prop and then glasses and whatever. And so I would, do it and then I would tag #maglife and I was like, okay, that's my like little stupid thing. Then I clicked Maglife and saw like people were posting like tons of like guns because I guess it was gun magazines or something. I'm like, oops, okay, maybe I shouldn't put it with that. So I was like, I got to think of something. So I started tagging it DJ Spider Maglife and then that was it. Everyone's like, it was like people just were like, I love this. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I do. I'm like, I just spent 3 months making a remix. No one replies to it. I spend literally 3 minutes making the dumbest video of my life and get more response than of anything I've ever done in my career. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this all the time. Plus it was fun and funny. And just like, I had a good time doing it. I was bored in the airport. So like, let's just do this all the time.
No, it works. I remember because I was going to go back and post some of your old stuff. And then you posted, I was like, oh, this couldn't be any more perfect.
It popped up on my like, it was like 3 years ago you did this. And I was like, oh, I'm going to post that on my thing. Might as well. I'm like, so much crazy stuff's happening in the world. Every time I go on Twitter, it's just like the people are so mad and they're like, the world is ending.
They are
so I'm like,
so mad.
Here's some like just things where the world's not ending. Okay. I don't know. I don't want to be negative all the time. So yeah, I reposted it last night. Try to add a little levity to the world.
Gotcha. So I know you mentioned travel. You mentioned, by the way, Paris Paul in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you.
Paris Paul, what up?
You mentioned travel. You mentioned your residencies. Now, how many would you say you had over a normal month or a week or whatever? Like how much were you traveling?
Well, you mean like how many gigs per week or how many residencies? Because like the residencies, I mean, for example, that spot I met you, the park, that's probably my longest running residency with a club, like a deal. Like I've been playing there since mid 2000s. Like,
oh wow,
it's got to be 12 years, maybe 14 years or something that they've been booking me. For a while, it was every month. I mean, but at least a few times a year. So shout to them. I love them. And I love building with I don't know if you could hear a lot of stuff's going on in my house.
Oh, we can hear.
Dogs barking.
I got it too. It happens.
Kids in homeschool, wives yelling. There's a lot happening. So welcome to our life. But oh my God, there's like squirrels going. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I love finding good people that are real that I could work with for a long time, rather than trying to just make a quick buck. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I'd rather build a relationship with people. So shout out to people at Park, Brian Bassett and all the Mason. But apart from that, I mean, I don't know. Like there was a time, I mean, I was on a plane almost every weekend of my life from about 2006 till this March, which is
wow,
so weird to think about. But it felt normal until then. Now it feels crazy to think about. But I mean, there'd be maybe one weekend I'd have off, 2 weekends. And in the past couple of years, it changed a bit because bottle service clubs and different things weren't going as much. But the events would go, and I would start to get these crazy events and go DJ on a volcano in Mexico or weird things. Super rich people, they would just do everything. And I get tapped in with those event planners. And that was my goal. I'm like, okay, as the bottle service things are dying out, I'm going to keep doing them, but really keep going on these events, and then in the Hollywood ones, like try to keep tapped in with Netflix and Amazon and all those Hollywood ones. So I try to just go all the time. Like I would be like on the road at least every weekend. And then sometimes I'd get these Atlantic City gigs on a Monday, some other spot on Boston on a Tuesday, like whatever I could get. And then these corporate gigs during the week. So sometimes I DJ 6 nights a week. That would be amazing, obviously. But for the most part, it was a couple times a week. And yeah, on at least, a few flights a week for, I don't know, 14 years or something.
Jeez. Now, how did that, you had a child. How old's your son now?
He turned 8 on Sunday. So happy birthday, Jude.
Happy birthday. Now, so how did that affect you once you had your kid and you were doing all this traveling and all this working? Did anything change because of that?
I mean, sort of. I remember like right when he was going to be born, like I was a resident at the Wynn Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, at Trist nightclub. I would do every Friday there, but then they would plug me in other things. So sometimes I'd be there twice a week. And but guarantee every Friday in Vegas, no matter what. Got to the point where I'd take the latest flight, 9 p.m. flight, like land at 10, go DJ at midnight, be done at 3, stay up till 6 and be on the flight back and be in LA. Wow. That turned into like my routine, but the and I was the most tired person in the world. But so I remember when my wife was about to have the baby, I was like, what do I do? Do I stay home? And so what I did was just I took like 2 weeks off, I think, or maybe a week and a half or something. And then I was like, I'm going to at least just go to Vegas right when he's like a week or 2 old. But I slowed down on other things in the beginning so I could be home. But at the same time, as you know, things cost more money when you bring in another life to the world. And you want to be set up to help them live a good life in the future. So you go into more work mode, So
we're supposed to feed them? Oh, man.
Exactly. And get a bigger place to live. They don't want to sleep in this drawer. I mean, I thought they were supposed to sleep in my underwear drawer. Oh, he's getting bigger? That's weird. So, yeah, I mean, it changed things in that sense. So endless, infinite thank you and props to my wife for helping us do this. Obviously, there's no way I could have done what I was doing without her sacrificing some things. And she does a lot of things too, but she would be home all the time, and family. We got family here. So that helped. But, and then as he got older and started playing sports and different things, and as you know, I know your kid, like you said, your kids dance and there's so many activities. I mean, I would be flying home. Oh my God, these crazy flights I would take just to get back for this soccer game at 12 noon. Little did the other parents know, like I just stayed up all night in New Jersey and flew to 3 cities and just barely made it. And I haven't slept for 2 days, you know, and
there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than like pretending you're excited to be someplace. Meanwhile, you know that you could fall asleep on this park bench. Just like, I gotta stay up just for real. 1 hour.
Right? And you're just like, you're trying to act like you are like into whatever conversation you're having, you know. And they're like, man, did you watch the game last night? I'm like, I was drunk in Atlantic City like 6 hours ago. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So it's been crazy. It's just been a crazy balance. I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. You know, but I want to be a dad. I enjoy being a dad. It's the most important thing to me ever. He is the most important thing ever. His mental well-being, anything. So I'll do anything it takes. And I want to, you know, that's the most important thing to me. So it changed, but I try to find the balance. But I want to make sure I probably take it a little too far. I know a lot of people that skip other things, but I don't have any other kids. He's my one kid. I'm like, I'm just going to try to be there for every single thing I could, you know, be there for.
Yeah. The first kid is always, he gets the best of everything. Second kid is like, does he really need that, you know, his own?
Right.
That's where hand-me-downs come in. You know, but still, I get it. And especially he's your boy, so you got that father-son bond going on, and it's a whole different world. But I will tell you this: like, I have a super bond with my son, especially because he's into music and DJing and all these things. So we have a kind of a connection there. But it's the daughters, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know. I mean, I have a niece, so like I get that, but I know, I'm sure you probably can't say no, right, to anything.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. And because I have 3 kids, so I have one that is how old is she now? She just turned 20. No, she just turned 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had her when I was like 4. But
that's impressive.
But I did have her young though, but not that young. But and so when we had the third one, and I thought we were done because I got remarried and I you know I had my son. I'm like, okay, 2 kids, I'm good. And my wife's like, no, we're not. I need my own girl. And and don't get me wrong, she's always been like amazing to her step. She's known her since she was 2 years old. So there's the bond there. So we were trying for that last child, and then things happened, and the next thing you know, it's a couple of years later, but we finally have this child, and her name's Eva, and we call her Eva the Diva because she's like she runs the house. But it's interesting, and you may see this when you have another child. Like, I don't know how your kid is, but like my first 2 kids never liked my wife and I showing affection. Like every time we did, she would run in, no, me. And it would always be about them. And when we had the third one, and maybe, I don't know, it was like her soul was in the air, and she could feel the fact that I was like, I can't believe we're having a third kid. Because like the moment she came out, the most loving child you will ever meet.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. She's crazy too. Like, she's a diva, but she loves hard. Like, I feel sorry for whatever boy she's going to bring home because it's going to be that kind of thing. But the first time I realized it was when I was hugging my wife, and I was hugging her in front of her, and I'm waiting for the kid to come over. She's like, oh, we're hugging. And she comes over and like hugs us both. I was like, damn it, you got me. You're the favorite.
You just won. You let me and my wife hug.
Yeah. No, don't tell your kid. Don't tell your sister about this. But you're the favorite. Only you know this. So yeah. It's a funny time that we live in. It's a funny time to have children. Everybody, And do you have any thoughts on having it anymore? Are you good with one?
I mean, I think we might be good with one. I think it's some decisions are 50-50 and some are not. So I think I'm in the lesser percentage on that. I don't get to make as big of the decision on that. We'll see what happens.
Gotcha. I see Chris Villa in the house. What's going on, fam? Arizona
Chris
fam there.
Villa, shout out. Cobra Arcade, I see you out there. I see 916 Junglist. Shout.
Oh, 916 is in here now. I didn't even see him there. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's good. Good. All right.
I was trying to peep the chat. I opened up the Twitch screen because the chat on the restream just shows you like one thing and then disappears after 1 second. So I'm like, yo, I want to see who's in here.
Really? Mine don't go away. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, that's so weird. Mine literally, anytime anyone writes, it puts it up and erases the last one.
Oh, that's annoying.
Unless I'm doing something wrong here, but
it should be on. It should be like on like your right side of your screen.
Yeah, there. It's just like LOL watching, and then boom, it just erases. It's all good. I got the Twitch up in the right side. I got you muted. I think we're good.
Gotcha. Perfect.
I wanted to see who was in here, live my Twitch life at the same time.
This is a good thing. Look, I've been doing this show with interviews for I don't know, about a month now. Well, maybe a little more than a month, and the traction that this show has gained has been insane. So I'm really happy with where it's at. And I know that you do a show of your own. I do.
I mean, I was doing it yesterday and that's something I want to do on Twitch besides the DJing. I want to either do an offshoot version of the show where I can or do the show on here. And actually this is good practice and this is helping me learn. Because I wasn't sure how it would translate, and I wasn't sure if the Twitch and the chat would change the vibe of my show, because my show's it's pre-recorded and as you know, there's a lot of equipment issues at all times with mics and things, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this live on the air, but doing this actually is giving me a little more confidence to do it. But yeah, I do a podcast called The 20 Podcast on and Beat Source. It's brought to you by Beat Source. There, it's really their show in a way too with me. It's a collaboration, and it's called The 20. A lot of people ask me because on Beat Source they've got their flagship playlist, which is called The 20. So it's in a way like their version of New Music Friday. Every Friday they put up 20 new songs for open format DJs that they feel like they should know of all genres. And in the beginning, when I used to meet up with people, I would play them the songs and we would go over it, just how DJs do, of
course.
But as it moved to this, number one, I didn't want to play songs over Zoom and sort of not do justice to the song and make people not hear it, as well as and copyright stuff. You know what I mean? I started realizing I don't want these shows to get taken down. We do a YouTube version and all this. So I made my own beats for the intro and started doing that. And, I've been in the meantime, I've been starting to make a ton of beats that I was thinking of trying to give out to these people to utilize on their streams. I heard you playing some cool little lo-fi beats in the beginning of the show. And I was like, I wonder what those are from. Cause I'm like, I just kind of want to put out some packs of that for people to,
so those are from Epidemic Sound.
Okay. I know. Yeah. I follow that. I just learned about them. I've been looking into these companies. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. They do a good job, but hey, I'm not locked to anybody. The reason why I use them mostly is not for this show. It's for when I do my gig logs and I need to be creative with the music choices as I'm changing scenes.
I get it.
So, yeah. But for this, I have my favorite ones kind of on loop and I just autoplay on Serato and just let it run.
Right.
If you got them, send them to me.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm working on it, but yeah, I mean, I've just, I've been doing that podcast. I just recorded, and yes, I want to bring it to Twitch and I think it would be great actually.
I think so.
I think actually, because a lot of the problems I've been running into is the audio and video quality, but I guess when you use something like this, it's better than Zoom. And because I'm recording myself into Ableton at the same time and splicing it together. And as soon as I get off with you, I have to do the craziest editing process for this show that I recorded last night. Because the guest's mic ended up having these glitches in it. The Zoom has these other glitches. I'm about to splice everything together and it's kind of a nightmare. Yeah.
This one allows you to just download after you're done.
I know. I'm going to I'm gonna ask you after you're done too. I might need ask you some advice.
Gotcha.
Um,
No problem.
but yeah, I mean, so I do the 20. It's been 1 year exactly. We just hit the 50th episode and the 1 year mark. And it's been 50 different guests, which is crazy. So what happened was I had this guy, Paul Blair, aka DJ White Shadow. He was on in the beginning of the podcast, and he's one of my friends, and through the year he's been like, yo, let me interview you on the podcast. I'm like, I don't know if people want to hear that. And I was like, all right, 50th episode, let's flip it. You interview me. It'll be like a funny little celebration. So we did that last night, and I think it came out pretty cool. And so I'm about to we'll put that out, I think, tomorrow or the next day. And yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's a way for me to also spread the word about Beat Source and show people what it is, because it's been a year of people going, wait, what is that? I don't understand. and even me in the beginning, I was explaining it on the first few episodes, and they're like, you're not explaining it right. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. And now I have a great understanding of it, and I use it. So it's, and it's great. But so that's been cool. And like, I've learned, I had never interviewed anyone 1 year ago. So
right.
People hit me, they're like, hey, I like the interview. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go along. Like I was all nervous and then when they start getting me bigger guests and people I really look up to that I don't know, it's like, oh shit, like what's about to, but it's been fun. It's all about, like I said, there's the silver lining to all this stuff, and being outside of your comfort zone is the only way you're going to grow and do new things. And if you don't feel weird and a little bit nervous about something, then you're probably too comfortable.
Exactly. That's I've always felt the same way about it. And I kind of started the same way you did. I mean, I'm a little different because we were DJing on Twitch. Right. And for the person that says, RIA is going to kill it, we'll see.
No, I'm not worried about. I wasn't worried about that either for Twitch. I'm more worried for like
monetization.
Yeah, like when I had A-Track on, I got A-Track on, and he's on like the board of Beat Source, so like he was talking all about it, and I used one of his songs for the intro, and then immediately on YouTube it was like, boom, this is on there, but it didn't pull it down. But I guess they have the ability to demonetize, or I don't know how it works.
Yeah, no, if a song. They will demonetize first if they tag a song, but then what will happen is sometimes it'll get banned in certain regions,
right?
Like it's not in Canada, and then other times they'll just block it completely. So that's why I was like, you know what, I was okay not being demonetized. I was okay with that. But the moment it said blocked, I was like, okay, no more music.
Right. And then same with Spotify and Apple started taking, I did other podcasts where I would just DJ or I'd play music, and I started getting emails just in the past couple of months, boom, all getting taken down,
Yeah.
And whole podcast just getting erased, not even just the episodes. And I'm like, okay, so here we go.
Yeah. Like it used to be where they would, just mute out the sound that was the issue. Now they're like, nope, we're just going to take it down. And so you spend all this time working on things. You don't want it to disappear.
Right. But I don't know the rules. Like I listen to like there's like Popcast, like the New York Times podcast, and they'll play songs and talk about it, or NPR. They'll talk about the new music during the week. Are they licensing it?
Yes.
Or like what?
They have broadcasting.
Are they just playing a small clip? Oh, they're licensing it?
Yeah, they have mechanical licensing to be able to play on air. So and anybody can do it if they want to pay for it. But a lot of people, the cost to benefit ratio is, it's not cheap to do those kinds of things. And you still risk, for a lot of sites, them blocking you anyway, and then you having to appeal it. And then it comes back. But by that time, you might have lost out on the major point of your monetization. So it doesn't matter after that anyway.
Right. Exactly.
So it's a give and take type thing. Vinyl Richie, it's been in the news. It's going to happen. They're going to mute songs that have issue. The problem is the live streaming aspects of it. But yeah, expect it to change. But I think Amazon and Twitch have a future for music. I think they want to do stuff in music. They're working with companies like BeatSource or Beatport, I should say. So
yeah, they're doing, like, I talk to people that work that are at Twitch and some of the like artist relation people and the music people and directly. And Twitch is actively recruiting music people and DJs to come on the platform. I don't know what their full plan is, but yeah, they're trying to get people on. So, I mean, they're, but yes, Vinyl Richie, I read a couple crazy articles that just came out yesterday, even where it was even more in detail. And now there's this huge letter that just got written to Jeff Bezos and the CEO of Twitch, signed by like all these managers and all these things, but the funny thing is, they're really going against, at least for now, the gamers. The DJs are nothing to them.
Exactly.
The DJs are like crumbs. You know what I mean? like, no offense, in the scheme of things, the gamers and even the YouTuber people, there's people on here that are just riding their bike to 2,000 people and playing songs and watching a YouTube video. You know what I mean? And that's the people that they're getting mad at, and then they're going to hit us, the DJs. But I'm hoping that by that time, maybe some things are worked out. I just don't see why they can't figure. I mean, I do see why. It's because of lawyers and all that stuff. But like, they should have just tiers. Like, if you hit a certain amount of number, if you stream to this many people, they can track it. Then you should have to pay this much of a blanket license to do it or something. You know what I mean? If you stream to 4 people, then okay, pay $5 license or something. I don't know. And then have tiers to it, and just be able to make it work. But, I've been we've been doing this a long time, and I've tried to make deals. I tried to do things in different industries, from TV to everything. And every time a lawyer comes in the picture, anything I've ever tried gets killed. I mean, they kill everything, because they just go by the book and all the little things, and everything just gets shut down.
But this is a perfect example. The cranberry juice commercial with Dogface. Is that his name? Yeah. They went number 1, Fleetwood Mac. All of a sudden, their songs are getting downloaded again. The Cranberry Company bought him a car because of it. It's like, guys, this is nothing but promo. All we are doing is promoting your artist, the very thing that you want, because they don't see a correlation. But it's like, look, he's a perfect example. Somebody could have been listening to that and be like, okay, I'll just keep listening to this 1-minute clip, because as DJs, we're pretty much playing 1 to 2 minutes of the song anyway. So the same thing should apply. If I'm DJing, somebody's like, that's a great song. What song is that? And my tag pops up and they go and put it on Apple Music and start playing it. Who's losing in this?
Right. I agree. And then even with things like, shameless plug, Beat Source, they can, let's say they make a deal with them. Hey, you have to use this service where you're DJing, it's tracking what you're playing, and, you can see it. And because if you play a song off Beat Source, you're giving a stream play to the artist. You know what I mean? Each time you play it. So let's say all these hundreds of thousands, millions of DJs are all playing the songs off their turntables onto Twitch. That's creating the streams for the artists right there. You know what I mean? There's a way to make this work somehow. And I just think the music's always been behind. It's the technology is way ahead and the music business is way behind. And I'm just hoping that we sort of find somewhere to do it. But all the people that say don't do this on Twitch, I say that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Do it until the wheels fall off, until they make you stop. Because just like anything else, I did MySpace and it's dead now. What's MySpace? You know what I mean? But at the time, I was going hard on MySpace. I was posting things nonstop, and that helped me build my career. I built a huge following off there of just posting my mashups and whatever off MySpace. I met all the people I know today through the DJ world and all that. So, I see you, Little John. What up?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Good to see you. and Little John, you're right. We're not saying that there isn't a loss of revenue. I just believe that, correct. Yeah. But I'm only referring to the DJs, and Spider's right. They're going after these gamers. I saw AOC had 300,000 people on her.
500,000. Yeah.
Just to watch her play a video game. So those are the big fish. We are super small. So if I play a song and I have 100 people watching my stream, in the grand scheme of things, it's super small potatoes. And I think that's the key. If you want to go after the big fish to make a point, I mean, first off, let's be reasonable. If a 13-year-old kid is playing Madden and playing one of his songs, don't sue the man for $12 million. It's like, that's just wrong, but we have to establish that point before we start looking at all these small fish. And Facebook was extreme. They just killed everybody,
Right. But they have to protect their own ass. You got to realize it, because even working in casinos, like in Vegas, I remember someone would smoke a blunt in the club and then boom, they're banned from the casino for their whole life. And people are like, damn, that's hardcore. But it's like the casino would lose their gambling license, everything. You don't understand how much is on the line for these companies. So of course they're going to be hardcore. They don't care about your stuff. And people are like, help us out. It's like, yo, you're not looking at the big picture of things, but that's why, maybe there's some way to do it. Maybe, when people are DJing off streaming services and it can be tracked, and then the website, the Twitch has to pay a certain amount, and then the streaming sites, the beat sources and the Spotify's have to pay a certain amount from the song being played by the DJ. Maybe there's some way to work it out.
It's already being done, because you got companies like Mixcloud.
Yes, exactly. True.
Yeah, what is that? Play DJ also has licenses. So there's definitely opportunities. And technology-wise, I think it's dumb, considering that I have apps right now that I can put on that will literally list every single song that I play on the fly as I'm going. So you mean to tell me that you can't track what I'm playing? And I'm fine with paying a fee. If you want to charge me $30 to $50 a month to be able to play music, and then you take all that money and then apply that to the industry, I'm fine with that, because there's money to be made. I think people that are just not making any money and they just want to play because they make their friends happy or they make themselves happy, I get it. But if I'm going to make money on Twitch, I'm fully fine with paying somebody $50 to $100 to do that. Right. And I think most DJs are.
Or take a piece of the subs.
Yes, there's so many ways. There is money being made. I look at Four Color Zach. The man is getting 2,000 subs a day on his thing. It's I
don't know about that, but yeah, exactly. You're right.
It's intense. I would say it's excessive. He's got some real fans.
He's good at it. He's on some auctioneer status. He's like, you want to go to Mash Mountain? I need 100 subs in the next 5 minutes. Here we go. Run it up. I'm like, damn. He's like, swing, bada, 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 bada. I'm like, damn, dude, you're getting good at this.
He really is. But so if you were to take that and go, okay, so he made $2,000. We take 3% of your earnings and apply this to the music industry.
Right.
They're still taking 30% anyway.
It's just hard. There's too many rules. It's just like the same thing with laws in the you know what I mean? It's just like anything, like drug laws or anything. You know what I mean? Things that don't make sense still have to be followed, because there's people that are going to enforce it, and it's their job. And so people are like, what's up? Can't you just be cool? It's like, no, that's their whole job to do it. So we need to change the laws and adjust the laws and make a big, I saw yesterday, there's a huge movement to force, the whole music industry, try to get Spotify to pay 1 penny per stream. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's way more. That would be, if you get 1 million plays, you get $10,000, so if you get, and you get 1 billion, so that's better than what they're paying now. And I think that we just have to have these movements to try to, and plans to try to push it forward and do it somehow, I guess,
if they want to. That's the key. If they want to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like the industry is we're happy where we are. We just want you to keep doing everything the way we do it. We'll make our money and you go on about your business. But the world is changing.
They're obviously, that has not worked for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Vinyl to cassette tape. They were like, no one's going to play this tape. Okay, boom, takes over. Oh, no one's going to play the CD. Oh, it takes over. MP3s come. No one's going to use that. Oh, they always try to deny it, and it always takes over. So this is the future. We're living online right now. Me and you would have been in the same room, and we're not. Okay, so
exactly,
this is our life. My kid is on Zoom and he's listening to music on there. Are you going to stop him? His teacher, he has a dance class. They're playing him.
Right.
Bruno Mars are they going to sue my school now? Yeah, probably. You know what I mean? So we got to figure this out. This is our life. You know what I mean? And especially with this COVID and everyone being stuck inside, this is there has to be some sort of solution, you know?
Yeah. And they let it go for a little bit. I remember
Yeah.
it seemed like they were like, we don't want to be the bad guys turning off all of these DJs, making people happy. And then they were like, okay, enough of that. Enough of the happiness. Let's get back to making money. You know, but even when COVID first started, like all the whole dance community like came on board and they were doing free dance classes on Zoom and IG and all these things. And I remember like IG taking them down and I'm just like, music industry, can you at least see what's happening? Can you at least understand that they're not trying to make money off of this? They're trying to, continue to do a business where they would be playing your song at their venue and you wouldn't get a dime off of that. You know, there's really no difference. It's just,
no, you're right. I mean, it is so complicated, but I think, keep doing it and let's just see what happens. I mean, that's how we live. That's how hip hop was made. That's how DJing was made. And you just got to break the rules and keep pushing it until people respect it and just realize this is what's happening, whether you like it or not.
I really do like your streaming idea though, of just connecting it with that and making sure you pay that membership and you're guaranteed to be paid now.
Right. Like you have a few options of a way to do it. Connect with a company, show this, do something. And then if you build your thing up and you have 10,000 viewers on average per stream, you have to pay a certain reasonable fee, because that's the problem, is that it's unreasonable. I remember because I tried to start an online radio station like in the early 2000s and then mid like 2005. And it was nuts. Like they would, because I would do it on Live 365 and these sites. And then they started hitting you with like, okay, you need this. And the numbers got so exponentially crazy that I'm like, what are you doing? I'm DJing out of a garage for like 12 people. Like I can't pay $1 million a month, So it just, I don't know. We got to just keep pushing.
Yep. Agreed. Okay. So, all right, here's a quote from your website, and I'm touching the wrong thing.
It's probably old.
It might be old, but I think it's still relevant because I think a lot of people kind of feel the same way. And the quote is, "It's not a job or hobby for me. DJing is like breathing. I have to do it." And I've been the same way. I mean, music is really a part of my life, but you do more than just DJing. I mean, you are producing also. You're doing remixes, actual production. How did you get into that?
Well, I mean, I got into the production pretty early too. I don't do that as much, but I have a lot of remixes I've put out and different stuff I've done. And, to speak to that quote, I mean, when I was making the website, they were like, yo, you got to put a quote on there. I was like, I don't know what the hell to say. So I was looking through all these like old things. I'm like, I'm just going to say what I think. But it's true because it's the kind of thing where like, I remember on like the day I was getting married, like I was so nervous. I was going to throw up. And I was like, I saw the DJ booth at the spot at the venue, and I just went over and I had a scratch session with myself, and it like made my stomach. I was like good after that, like, and I'm like, this is like my medicine, So, and sometimes if I got to get grounded, how DJing is a very isolated thing,
Yes.
and being a human is a very weird thing. You go through these ups and downs in your brain of, am I doing the right thing, and questioning stuff and existential stuff, especially being a creative and trying to have no boss and support yourself. So, you get lost. And so I would have to go back sometimes to just scratching. I just go to my thing and just scratch and be like, okay, this is like, it grounds me. This is like my thing to like, just at least get back into it, forget all the troubles, So that's where kind of the quote, I guess, speaks to me in a way. And I'm constantly thinking about DJing, and it just always sparks something in me. Like I was trying to do a mix last night and I had to go to sleep, and I got so hyped on these couple things I was putting together. I'm like, this sounds so dope. And I was like dancing in my room, and I'm like, it's inside of us. And I'm sure all you guys that are watching this, cause you wouldn't be watching this, if not,
right.
But the production stuff, early on too, like my first, second year in college, I met some people and started this hip hop group, and I would go down to this guy Sonny's house in Half Moon Bay, and I'll sleep on his floor, and we would drink Mountain Dew all night to stay up all night. He would he taught me Cubase and MIDI and all this
good
stuff.
old Cubase.
Yeah, and then I remember at college we had this room that no one would ever go in that had these keyboards, a Juno 106 and a Kai sampler that had only like I think 4-second or 2-second or whatever sample. And I just, I had these records. I would just learn how to do it. And then over time, it was just something I love doing and trying to remix songs. And, it plays into the whole thing of DJing and making your mashups and edits. And then actually producing your own beats and remixes is the evolution of that in a way. And then once I got on Ableton, I remember like when it was the time of like Banana Split and DJ AM, Steve Aoki, the Mike B, Glenjamin, all those people doing at LAX, this legendary party in LA called Banana Split, which was the beginning of all this EDM stuff and the open format people being into it. And I had just gotten Ableton, and I was like, I want to remix East Flatbush Project Tried by 12 because I was I thought I wanted to use Ableton like an MPC because I always produced on an MPC 2000 and you had to chop the samples and put them in a pad. So I was like, I could use this drum rack thing and take all the samples they have in that song and then play them over the beat. So I remember I did a song, a remix, and I called it Tried by 12. And it was like 130 BPM and B More music had just come out. So I took a B More break and I was playing it over. And then I remember I sent it to AM and I went to Banana Split and he played it. And it was like mind blowing to me. I was like, oh my God, he's playing the thing I made in Ableton. And, just like that was like, wow. So then I just started making all these mashups. And that's when I met like Riz and Scissorhands. And they're like, send us this, or we're starting this thing called Crooklyn Clan, a website. And, and it was just kind of the beginning. And then Kevin Scott, War and Peace, Direct Music Service. And they were like, this is dope. And, my boy, Steve Wonder was like my DJ partner, and we would do 4 turntable stuff. And we were recording in all our vinyl and learning how to do Ableton and mashups and party breaks. Like we were trying to figure out how they made Be Faithful, and we were like, how do they do this? So we were trying to make our own. We'd send it out to them. And they'd be like, this is pretty good. And even Steve has a great story about sending Conga Shake. I don't know if you know that one, but it's like Conga Shake is like Steve Wonder's Be Faithful. It's like this everlasting edit that you could play at any party, anytime. It's amazing. I'll send it to you guys if you want, or hit him up. Yeah. But it's really good. And so I remember, and DJs love playing it. I mean, I've heard him playing it at stadiums and whatever. And I remember he has a good story about sending it to Kevin Scott, and he put actually shout out to Lil Jon and Pitbull. I think he put one of their beats under it, and then Kevin Scott was like, does the world really need another song with that beat under it? And then it turns out to be the biggest edit he ever made, but shout to Kevin and Warren and the whole DMS crew. So that's it, just love of music, wanting to do more things and produce stuff. And like with my hip hop group too, like we were making stuff, we were pressing vinyl, we were licensing stuff to TV shows and movies and getting into that world and learning about all that sync licensing and that whole other world, ways to make money, and not have to work for annoying people.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that, but music placement is a huge revenue stream. If you can get with people that are in it, because I've had like 4 or 5 songs placed on MTV just because of the guy. They always use his stuff. So, and it's just an easy, here's your check. Oh, hey, look, $1,000 for no reason.
Right. And then you get a lot of them. You get those ASCAP checks just flowing in over time. And you're like, oh, I forgot about that. I'll take that.
Yeah. I always tell people it's like, because a lot of people, they make music or whatever. They consider making a group and all these things. And they're like, well, what's the point of investing in all of this equipment and everything? And I'm like, look, if I recoup anything that I've spent out, it's a good thing. Yeah. So like, I remember the first time I had a major movie, and I don't know if Paris is still on, but we had one of our songs end up on Big Mama's House, the movie.
Oh, and, wow.
And it was the first time it was like, oh yeah, so they want to give you $25,000. And we're just like, what for a song? You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things where you don't think about it until it happens, and then you're like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm legit. I'm professional. I just
Right.
made money off my music.
I mean, exactly. So there, you know, I did a podcast with DJ Sprite on there, and like, because during this COVID time, I've been trying to figure out ways to educate other people in different ways, whether it's you want to start DJ, I don't know, just anything, any type of. I thought that my podcast would be more just talking shit and telling stories, but it's turned into a lot of educational things and trying to help people and utilizing the guest to gain that knowledge and spread it to them. And so DJ Sprite is huge in that world. And he was giving up all these ways to make money off licensing and different, you know, working with Pretzel Rocks to do the gaming licensing and getting stuff in TV shows and movies. And, you know, there's a lot of things you could be doing out there, DJs, during this time, rather than just complaining. You know, I'd say it is a hard time, but there's stuff you could be working on.
Yes. Yeah. It's almost like a lot of DJs, not you DJs in here are clearly wanting more. But it seems like a lot of DJs are just so set in their ways that the only thing they can do is complain because their entire world is completely changed, and they don't know how to improvise, how to pivot, which is like the catchphrase of 2020.
It is. Yeah, you're right. That's going to be word of the year, pivot.
You know, but they don't know how to do it. So instead they complain. Like, you know, I remember when Twitch came out and everybody's like, hey, you can make money on Twitch. It's like, okay, great. And people, they're going to cancel it. There's nothing you can do. This is the world we live in. I'm just like, can you just be happy for a minute? Like, okay, let's say they do pull the rug out from under us. Guess what? For the past 7 to 8 months, you've been actually making money. It's not like they're going to say, give us all the money back. You know what I mean? So it's like, just be happy. And when the article started coming out about Twitch, oh, see, I told you, like, dude, you're just angry all the time. Like, fine.
Right.
Whatever. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Well, that, you know, that's like, I don't know what the saying is, but it's like you show your true character through your reaction to things in a way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when shit gets hard is when it really shows who you are and what you're made of. So this is that time for people, I think. And it's hard, this is really hard. I mean, this is nothing like this ever happened before. This is insane. I've gone through so many ups and downs in the past 7 months, just like everyone else. So, but you gotta, at some point, just shut up and just do your thing and then go get a job then, or shut up or just keep doing it. You signed up for this, okay? Like, we signed up. This is what we wanted, and this is, you're not working for the big company that's being forced to pay you right now. So this is what you got to deal with, and there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah, I agree. Although I'm looking at Lil Jon's post here.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I also saw someone else post. Funny how this convo came full circle. People from using unlicensed music to licensing it. Well, it's called do both. Play unlicensed music, break the law, make money, and then also do something. But yeah, you're right. A lot of DJs that are working are gone, and I'm hoping they're working on something and they come back out with this whole new thing. But yeah, wow. I mean,
how can you trust them though? Honestly,
it's a clean slate. To come back. There's gonna be a lot of new DJs and new bars and new clubs and a whole new world of people are gonna come out, and all these kids that weren't even old enough, by the time this is over, are gonna come back and have a nice, good starting point, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you,
they
but
couldn't adapt. Exactly. He's saying they couldn't adapt, and they're right. I mean, the amount of people that call me freaking out, how do you do this? I don't get it. I don't want to do this. Of course, we didn't want you. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? Is there anything in the world that's just so easy to you? You know what I mean? No one's gonna hand it to you. You got to work. And like Lil Jon's right. Like I've been on the phone in the beginning of this. I was on the phone with him for so long. We would be on FaceTime trying to figure out how to make a wire, like how do we get this camera to work on the thing? And then with our other boy, Urban Medium in Atlanta, and trying to figure out OBS and learn how to make the audio go through the roll-in, and this chord works. And that's what it's all about, just figuring shit out.
Well, I always laugh because, especially in the private sector, where we have DJs have literally learned how to be their own production companies. And
I know.
So now I I'm talking to all these party planners like you are. Oh, we're pivoting. We're doing this now. We're doing video production for events and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, well, we can do it too. Oh, no, you don't understand. We have these super high end people that know exactly how to do this. I'm like, there's 5,000 DJs right now that know how to do production.
Exactly.
We don't need all these things anymore. And that's the key. You're learning, you're growing. And a lot of the videos that I even made on YouTube are all because I needed to learn how to do something. And I felt like, I think this could help other people,
Yeah.
like and that was the only reason why I even did these videos. So there's opportunities everywhere. And the more you know, even let's say, for instance, we get out of COVID, everything's good, but the DJ industry is still not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You can take this stuff and be like, hey, I'll work for this company for a while until we get back because now I know how to do this. I'm your OBS guru. I can do this stuff.
Thank you. That's what I've been telling people. They're like, oh, it's a waste of time. What if I get pulled off? I go, yo, you could get a job at a spot. People have to train to learn to what you just learned, to learn that stuff and do it. If you want, you could turn into like, someone that does this for a living for a TV station until DJing comes back. Like, you're learning skills that will be able to be utilized in the future,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, I've learned so much in the past 7 months. I learn every day. I'm learning right now with this Restream thing, and I'm going to figure out how to get my podcast on Twitch and do it live. And it's always something, you know what I mean? So I think that it's worth it. That's what life's all about, is constantly learning. If you're just doing the same thing over and over, then what's the fun of it?
Exactly. Now, you've been on for a while now, buddy.
I know. Damn, this time went by. It's all good. Whatever. I just got to edit this podcast.
No, and that's fine. And I mean, I think that's actually a good place to stop. Anybody in the chat, do you guys have any questions for Spider? If you have any questions, just throw them in real quick, so we can get off by noon. I actually have a microwave guy coming to fix my microwave, so I gotta be off anyway. And I have to do
one other thing before I forget to say with the job thing too, is that, like, I'm trying to book people for my podcast, and I talked to this one girl who in Toronto, and I've been seeing her do a lot of dope stuff. And she's like, I just signed a contract with a film festival to help them produce the whole online version of it, book the DJs, do the whole thing. She's like, it's insane. And I didn't know what I was doing 4 months ago, so you don't know what's going to come out of this. Put in the work.
I booked Debbie Allen's 12-hour marathon session with D Nice and all these like super big name people, all because of a video that I did on YouTube about streaming.
Amazing.
They contacted me. They're like, hey, we need your help. Like, okay. And they paid well. So
exactly. Yeah. I know people doing corporate gigs for huge companies that, on Zoom, not on Twitch. You don't even see them, and they're doing it in the background and getting paid pretty damn good. So, it's not as good as before. I still want things to come back, but like, just
better than zero.
Won't sit around complaining all day.
Exactly. So, okay, I'm just checking the questions. I think like it's one of those things where we've answered so many questions. They're like, we're good.
That's all good. I could put a link to my podcast in the
yes, please do that real quick. Put that in there. And also, for all of you that don't know, DJ Spider is going to be back on today. I'm kidding. He's going to be on at some point.
All right, maybe I'll do a test. If I can finish this, well, I probably have to help my wife. She's out there like doing all the homeschool and everything. So, but if I can finish this podcast, maybe I'll get a test stream in there. I got it like built out, and I want to test it out. So maybe I'll do at least a little hour later and see what's up.
Gotcha. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow DJ Spider on all his socials. Are DJ Spider, real easy to get to. Mods, if you can just throw his socials in the chat real quick, just so they have it, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, my Twitter. Some guy has my Twitter, so it's DEEJAY Spider on Twitter. So,
gotcha.
Unfortunately, but
like your website.
Yeah, exactly. My website's DEEJAYSPIDER, but everything else, my Instagram and Twitch and all that's this. All right. Oh, we got some. Are people asking questions? Let's see.
All right.
Or should we get
Tech
out of
questions.
here?
Yeah, tech questions. What mixer are you using? Well, me personally, at the moment, I'm using the S11.
Oh, what are you trying to make me jealous? I need to get one of those.
Hey,
Like,
so
oh my God. Your
you know,
video and Mojax's video and all that made me just even more. I'm like, the marketing is working. But I need it. I need it so bad.
and you know, normally speaking, you know, you'll see things like, oh, look, a new Samsung phone comes out, and then there's like 30 people with the same video. And so I was a little nervous when I did the video because I knew for a fact how many people were going to be out there. But
Right.
we all come at it from such a different place. Even though we're saying the same thing, it's just different. You know, it's
They
not
were
like
different. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, Pioneer has look any company, corporate company, especially like a Pioneer. When you do a release for them, they send you like, okay, so here are the good things about it, you know, and they give you the list, and you know, I'm like, I'm not gonna read from this. I'm gonna do my own thing. Yeah, and it works, but yeah, this is a temporary, but I'm working on getting one to stay in house. Working on it.
Give you that artist discount at least, something.
Exactly. You know, we're bartering. We're bartering.
Exactly.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I know. It's so dope, dude. I love it. I mean, so many crazy features. But
really
yeah, I
is.
want to use that. I mean, let's see. What did people say? Where can we find my edits? I don't know. I've been posting them on. I mean, a lot of them. I don't know if they take them down or what, but I've put some on DJ City before and Headliner and all the sites. I mean, Direct Music Service. A lot of my edits have been on there. I actually though have been started. I have a Discord that I've not put out there yet, but I've been building it out, and I'm gonna have a lot of my edits in there. So I guess I put the link. I mean, it's not even ready to go, but I'm gonna be. But you're gonna have to subscribe to my channel. Sorry about that. And and I'm gonna have a lot of edits. I've been putting stuff in there. So I'm working on that coming soon. And then I'll, you know, but I send them out. I mean, hit me. You want any of my stuff? I need to get better with the email list and all that stuff. But I send them to all the websites and just try to get them out to all the DJs.
Gotcha.
I don't even know how you share a Discord link, but still learning this thing.
By the way, that is my Discord. Not that I'm taking off from you, but that's my Discord. Yeah, go into your
oh, here we go.
Go into your
invite.
Go into your app and just hit the invite. There you go.
Okay. Oh, it says good for 1 day. I'm gonna put it for never expires. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I see that. I got to change that. Okay.
Yeah, because then you could have it on your site. All right, guys. I guess get in there and talk to each other, but it's not fully built out yet. But hey, join if you want. And then now, see, this is forcing me to get in. I'll be doing some sort of talking, podcasting on here. I have a couple other show ideas that I'm going to be doing on Twitch, and then I'll be DJing on here soon. Maybe I'll get a set in today if I can.
That would be fantastic.
And I just popped my Discord down in there, so see what happens. See if I get this thing popping. But I have a private subscriber chat area that I'm going to be putting all kinds of things in there, from original beats I'll make that you could use on your channels to like edits I'm making, remixes, whatever you want, songs that you hear me play that you want, all types of stuff that the subs will get.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, so obviously we posted before where they could get you on your socials, but we'll do it one more time.
Thank you.
DJ Spider, DEEJAY Spider for Twitch. Or for Twitch, for Twitter.
For Twitter, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, if you search, it's so confusing. If you go to my website, DEEJAY spiderspellednormal.com, it has all my stuff on there. And or just, hit me directly on here. I'll write you back. But
don't go to DJ Spider UK. That's on him. Oh my
God. I've tried to buy the site off that guy so many times. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just sell it to me, my dude. Maybe I could do a fundraiser on Twitch to buy it from him.
Hey, it works. Like I had a guy, he was like, I wanted an S11. I put on there, help me get an S11. And he's like, within a week, I got enough money to buy it.
Oh, really?
It works.
Crazy.
It works.
I know. I mean, some of these Discord things have been amazing. That's what I love about Discord is the positivity. Like I had Complexion on. I don't know if you see he has a show called the Future Beats Show on Twitch, which is so good. And he's a great,
check it out.
His show is great. Very, very creative. Like the Future Beats show is all this futuristic lo-fi kind of dope music, but Friday he does this thing that's like a club, and it's like a strip club, but it has the characters like Thanos, Spider-Man, Captain America all twerking in these virtual strip clubs. And you throw the bits and he plays club music, and all the money is being raised for a charity or something good. So like we're raising money for kids to learn online while giving twerking Thanos money. It's like genius. I love it. But you know, he's like his Discord, Kenny Beats Discord, Four Color Zach. It's amazing the positivity in there. You see someone like, oh, I broke my computer. There's like 80-something thousand people in Kenny Beats Discord. Everyone puts in $1. Just a few people put in $1. Dude has a new computer. Another guy needed a bass. Like everyone's helping each other. They're showing each other things. Like it's the opposite of like Facebook, you know, where it's like pure hatred. It's like people,
hey, my computer broke. Get a job. Like
right. It's just like nice people being nice to each other and being humane and like helping each other and sharing music and like you know, I'm loving the Discord thing. The more I learn about it, that's why I wanted to set my own up. And I've joined so many of them in the past couple months.
Well, that's the one thing about, because look, like I'm a DJ, but I'm a private DJ. So I'm not hitting up a whole bunch of clubs, like, except, you know, on occasion.
Yeah.
But the one thing I have noticed that a lot of DJs don't talk about, there is like a music camaraderie with DJs that nobody, because I'm like, where'd you get that track from? Where's this track from? Now I'm getting connected with these people. They're like, oh yeah, hey, here's my Dropbox that has like 200 gigs worth of music, and everybody's just sharing everything. I'm like, oh,
I love it. Yo, I've been sharing
music.
Yeah, I've been sharing music with people on here. It's crazy. Like Arcade, his page, This Is Arcade. Man, he's always putting me on to new stuff. And then we started sharing stuff. And yeah, I mean, I love it, you know, just being able to share the wealth, you know, of like whatever people find. And it's crazy. Like I went on Buck Rogers' stream last night, and then which was nuts. I come in his stream, he immediately somehow has a recording of me on a podcast talking about him and does a routine scratching my voice over the thing. It was the dopest thing I've ever seen. And then he played a song by this dude Wavy Bagels, like a remix of Fabulous Breathe that was so dope. And then I see that on Complexion's Instagram. I go, yo, I just heard Buck Rogers play a track by that dude, and Complexion's in the UK. So I wake up to the message from him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you that track." Okay, boom, I got more tracks for you, and like it all just connects. We're all worldwide connected, sharing music, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a small world now. It really is.
It's great.
All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, if you found Spider interesting, if this was a great show, throw the ones in the chat right now. Throw the ones in the chat. I need to see the ones.
Thank you, guys. And I see someone shouting out Movement, my old hip hop group. Shout to you, Architect. But yeah, thank you, Cleveland, Terry, for having me on. And this was super fun, dude. I love this. It was great.
Thank you very much. I had a great time. One day you'll have to bring me on the 20.
For sure, dude. We got to do it 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be a live one like this.
I'm good with that, man. I'm good with that. Any day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, this was great.
Yeah, thank you.
DJ Spider. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time, man. Thank you so much. All right, peace out. All right, that was DJ Spider. Let me get my headphones back in so we can get through here. There we go. There I am. Okay. I feel like there's an echo on me. So much info, so much good stuff. That is exactly the kind of thing that makes this show go around. That's the most important part of what we do here. So I appreciate anybody and everybody that comes on and just sits around and listens to us do this thing, because there are so many other things that you could be doing right now, you know, but you're hanging out with us, hanging out with me, and I appreciate it. Yeah, as I was saying before, I am creating a Discord. It's there right now. I'm still tweaking some things. I do want to make sure that it's, you know, exactly the way I want it, but it's a work in progress. We're going to get better at it. We're going to add some things. Right now, it's completely open, but there will definitely be a subscriber only areas, like a few of them. So if you're subscribed to the channel, if you're subscribed to either Twitch or YouTube, or if you're a Patreon member, all of that stuff is accessible to you. All right, so it's all available. So make sure you follow me on the Discord. And yeah, it's dope. Okay, so about time. I will invite you, John, and Lady Beats and Ratbone, and then we'll get the rest set up. We'll get the rest set up as soon as possible. Okay, so we are going to now see who we're going to raid. And I'm not talking to anybody about it. I'm just going to raid whoever the hell I want to raid. Maybe we should raid, I haven't raided DJ Unique in a while. And Unique's dope. So I think that's who we're going to raid. Hey, before we raid him, can somebody just head over and make sure that he's good? You know, every so often you get on there and you're like, oh, why are you stuttering so much? What's wrong with your channel? Who knew it was that easy? Thank you, mods. Appreciate you on that. Yeah, I think we're gonna raid DJ Unique. Let's raid DJ Unique. Let's give him some love. It's either DJ Unique or Scam Artist right now. Because we just raided DJ Scene yesterday. Hey, Paris, why is Ice still on? Is Ice, DJ Icy Ice, is he going late today? So, in case people didn't know, while we were figuring out who we're going to raid, just so you know who's going to be on tomorrow, well, let me show you. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got the legendary Z-Trip on Wake Up in Cleveland tomorrow. It should be super, super dope. I'm excited for that. Got a lot of work ahead of me. We're going to get him on, and it'll be a good time. So make sure you are on tomorrow also for Wake Up in Cleveland. Let's talk about the things that we got going on this week. So we have Z-Trip on tomorrow. We have Drew Bach, Professor BX from Pioneer on Thursday. And he's going to talk about the S11 because he had a very large involvement in this mixer. So you definitely want to stand around for that one or stick around for that one. And then on Friday, Friday is Buster Rhymes Day. So I know I do my interviews Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday and Friday, I'm kind of reserving for music. So Friday is Buster Rhymes Day. What does that mean? Buster Rhymes has a new album coming out on October 30th. So we're going to go through that bitch. We're going to listen to that whole thing and we'll talk about it. But that's what we're going to do on Friday. So if you're down for old school hip hop and Buster Rhymes, if you're a fan like I am, come hang out with me. Should be fun. All right, let's check the chat real quick. Okay, good. Yeah, the album should be fire. Should be fire. All right, let's do this now. I see Sweet Ash in the house. What's going on, girl? All right, let's set up this raid. All right, y'all. So, we'll set up that raid in just a minute. So once again, thanks for hanging out with me today. For anybody that didn't see the new intro, which I worked my butt on. DJ Moranis, what's going on? We're gonna start this raid right now. I'm gonna play that one more time, and then we're gonna head over to DJ Unique. Guys, always a pleasure hanging out with you. I appreciate you all. So let's start this thing up, and let's go from there. All right, y'all. We will see you tomorrow. We're starting this raid. Wake up in Cleveland. Always, every day. Peace out. What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up.
Peace out, y'all. See you soon.